All right, here we go. The mighty return of Gilbert Arenas. Welcome back to VladTV.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. One of my favorite guests. It's been too long. Congratulations on your success on your platform.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Shout out the URL for people that don't know.
Yeah. I got No Chill Gil as my personal.
Okay.
And Gil's Arenas is the big sports one.
Yes.
That we have right out of the house.
Congrats, man. I'm seeing a lot of views on it. A lot of big guests. Mm-hmm. You're doing your thing.
Thank you.
Doing your thing. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about today, and usually we start off with sports, but right now, things are so crazy right now in the hip-hop world with Diddy.
Yeah.
A.K.A. the Diddler.
The Diddler.
A.K.A. No Diddy. Now, when you had that big $1 million party, Diddy hosted it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hosted.
Yeah.
Hosted. Yeah.
How would you pay him to host it?
I think back then was $250,000.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, but back then,
that
was doing that type of level,
Yeah, it's so funny. I reached out to Hove first because I was trying to negotiate with rappers to get the rappers first, and they said you need a host name first. And once you get a host, once people see it's legit, then they're asked. So I said, all right, let me go after Hove. Hove. His team hit back like $500,000. And he said the reason his price is that high is because he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do the party because too much liability. Now, if I'm going to pay him that, then he'll do it.
Yeah.
And then they gave me some rules of make it private because people are going to ask, about the bar and how much you're going to make off the door. So then I made it private. And then he was like, won't you reach out to Diddy? Diddy loves throwing parties. He doesn't care about that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him. He said, yeah. Once I had Diddy on the ticket, then all the rappers that I was trying to get before said, cool. Right? So I had Wayne, T.I., Game, and Busta Rhymes.
Okay. Yeah, I just had Game on.
Yeah.
Okay. So apart from that
party.
So
it wasn't a Diddy party.
It was your party hosted
It was
by
my
Diddy.
party, yes.
Right. It wasn't a Diddy party. Which now has a whole stigma attached to it. Diddy party is like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So, outside of this event, did you have a relationship with Diddy at all?
No.
Okay.
Never met him before or after. The kids go to the same school.
Yeah.
Never had a problem with him.
Okay. And since you're throwing the party, from what I understand, you were really busy, so it's not like you really hung out with Diddy or anyone else or anything else. You were trying to just make it happen.
It's a club, right?
Yeah.
This is not a house party. This is a club environment. He did a great job. He brung in was it Dougie Fresh?
Oh,
so there was a great host though. It was a blast. Helped me get into the All-Star game. So
when you heard about the Fed raid, his LA home, his Miami home were raided. His sons, Quincy and King, were handcuffed. He was on a private plane somewhere. But from what I understand, he's cooperating with authorities and everything else like that. When you heard about this, how did you react to it?
One, when the speculation that he was on a jet fleeing, I already knew that was cap. Because when the feds hit, right, they know exactly where you are at all times. They've been watching you for 4 or 5 days. It's not some fucking television show where they go to the judge and get it written off and then they come right to you. Nah, it's a planned attack.
Yeah.
Right. So if he was a suspect that they were actually trying to get, they would have waited till he was in the house. So when they hit him around 11, 12, right, that means they was waiting for him to actually leave because what they were probably looking for was safes that they could break into. They see if he had any documents in there, looking for tapes, looking for surveillance stuff. So that's when I knew, like, okay, they don't really have anything for him. They're still searching because most raids happen about 4 or 5 in the morning that they're trying to get you, right? 4 or 5 in the morning, 2, 3 a.m., right? It's that early morning where you're asleep, caught off guard. So the fact that they did it at 11, 12, meaning they weren't looking for him, they're looking for all the information that they're gathering at this moment in time.
Well, yeah. I mean, at this point, he hasn't been charged. And I mean, the thing is, though, if he hasn't been charged, he still has his passport.
Mm-hmm.
To me, like, for example, I know Russell Simmons, right? I feel like Russell Simmons is the smartest guy of them all.
Mm-hmm.
When he thought that something was coming down the line,
he left.
He sold his house in West Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
He sold his condo in New York. He sold his Basquiat Warhol.
Mm-hmm.
He cashed out.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Bali and built a hotel. There's no extradition policy, and he's just chilling. Now, he's been going back and forth because he hasn't been charged with anything, but he said, listen, man, I'm an older man. If I get hemmed up in this, it's going to be the equivalent of life.
Yeah.
I'm worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Why would I risk a single day in prison when I can go live in paradise in a different part of the world?
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Diddy still has his passport because he hasn't been charged.
Mm-hmm.
He could totally do that right now, can't he?
No, yeah, he can. He can leave anytime he wants. My whole thing with it is, I don't know, is it Lil Rod?
Lil Rod.
Yeah. What is his claim? Because this is the problem with the Homeland Security.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of Homeland Security coming in for a civil case.
Well, it's not a civil case. It might be based on the civil case.
Yes.
It's definitely a criminal case.
With who's fouling the criminal part?
The feds.
The feds?
Yes.
What case does the feds have?
Well, you're about to find out.
Okay.
When the charges come down.
Oh, wait.
There's no charges
I'm
yet.
thinking you was about to tell me.
No, that's the whole thing. He's not charged with anything.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So
they're saying it's allegedly over sex trafficking and everything else like that. And they had to have a judge sign off on it in order to do the raids. So they must have physical evidence.
No. We don't know what the raid was for. We hear what people are saying and throwing out their spaghetti. We don't know what is the warrant, who's seen the warrant that they went in for, right? So we don't know what the actual warrant says of why they went into the properties. So that's what I'm saying. So Homeland Security coming in at that moment in time, what are they really after? Because right now it's a civil case of his producer or someone who was helping him do songs, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole civil. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of cases, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What is the actual
Cassie case? There's the civil case. I mean,
Cassie case is over.
Well, it is and it isn't.
Okay.
Right? And let me explain to you why. Because Cassie filed a civil lawsuit against Diddy, where she alleged a whole bunch of insane things.
Mm-hmm.
He settled that lawsuit within a day.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% positive she signed an NDA.
Okay.
But when it comes to a criminal case, an NDA is considered a private agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So she may not be able to speak about it publicly in terms of writing a book or doing a documentary, doing interviews. But if she gets subpoenaed by the feds, she will have the opportunity to say whatever she wants on the stand. So every single detail in that civil case could potentially end up being in his criminal case. So the feds will look at civil cases and say, okay, there's a lot here. And yes, he's paying all these people off to make the civil cases go away, but we could pick all these up. Just like, for example, you could beat a state case and the feds could pick it up and charge you all over again. Mm-hmm. Well, allegedly, according to like NBC News, based on sources with the feds, it's sex trafficking, sexual assault, illegal narcotics, firearms.
So basically they're coming in for sex trafficking. Now, what does that actually mean?
Ooh, and that's a tough one, man, because technically if you fly a girl out and y'all have sex,
that's sex.
It could technically be sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
If they could prove that she was being flown out just for sex. Now, if you say, this is my girlfriend or this is someone I'm dating and I'm flying her out and we just happen to have sex, but we did all this other stuff also, it's a little gray area. That's the problem.
And I don't think people really understand that. When you fly a girl out, rappers, NBA players, when you fly a girl out, that is actually considered sex trafficking. So on the bottom line of it, like I know what we think when we hear sex trafficking, we think we're going to kidnap you, put you in like a car,
take an underage
you
girl and tie her up and throw her in a crate.
Flying there, getting her a ticket and bringing her to you.
Then locking her up like R. Kelly and having your homies take turns on her. No, that kind of stuff does happen. That's all.
That's the one we know.
But no, it could literally mean, hey, so-and-so is flying this girl out just for sex.
Yep.
And she's being maybe pressured a certain type of way to have sex with you.
No.
It could really get very ugly very quickly.
But that's for everyone.
For everyone.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone in this sense, the bottom line of sex trafficking in the sense is I can fly you from state to state.
Or drive you.
Or whatever.
Give you a Greyhound bus ticket.
Yeah.
Here's a ticket, come see me. So we can have sex. Sex trafficking.
So when some girl like tries to out a rapper, like, oh yeah, he flew me out. He didn't want to have sex with me. Right? That technically that was sexual trafficking with the intent.
Yeah.
Like that is the bottom line of it when you really want to. So here it's really hard. I think if you really want justice, if you think he did something wrong, stop the spaghetti information. What happens is when everyone starts chiming in and adding their little 2 cents, oh, I got a story. All those stories are actually helping Diddy.
Of course. Well,
yes.
I don't know.
Because
they are or they aren't. It depends on the story itself.
What happened? Think about any case, right? If there's 100 stories, 2 of them correct, right? Think about the 98 that just blended in their bullshit. All his attorney does is go after the 98. Fuck the 2. Go after the 98 to show how bullshit these stories are. And that's all you do in cases. You attack the weakest part of these claims. So you got these claims, there's 10 claims in them. He don't have to fight all 10. Just pick the ones that are stupid as a defense attorney.
Yeah, but if you could convict him on the ones that are true and the ones that have solid evidence, you could have 20 fake ones and it ultimately won't matter to the jury. If you could, you could have a bunch of charges and the jury, could have 20 charges and they could only find him, guilty of one of them, but that one charge might have a 20-year.
Yeah, but that's where the defense comes in. The defense comes in, he focuses on the 19 that are wrong and shows how stupid it all is. And it's going to be the attorney to stay focused on the one, which most.
Listen, I've done Piers Morgan, I've done News Nation recently. On both of those shows, I've said that he hasn't been charged with anything. And ultimately, a lot of this is hearsay, and a lot of this is very gray area and fuzzy. And obviously, he has a lot of money, and a lot of people want to try to take that money in civil lawsuits. And the Cassie case opened up a floodgate of copycats.
Yeah.
This is why it's very important, as someone who's been through lawsuits myself, it's very important that you don't just sit there and give someone a huge bag of money as soon as they ask for it, because everyone else will come in and ask for the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You ultimately try to get that number down so low that other people are going to say, not worth our time. Or other lawyers in particular, because all these cases are done with contingency lawyers.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that part.
Yeah.
Puffy's spending millions on his defense. All these people who are suing him pay nothing. The lawyer is taking it on contingency and he'll get a third.
Yeah, the problem with the Cassie is if you've been negotiating her from the beginning, that was his downfall, where that should have never went out. See, sometimes people don't realize when you're trying to negotiate, the threat is your biggest asset. The threat, that what you're holding, what he's scared of, is the power. Once you come out, like most of these guys, they're coming out now.
Yeah.
It done already hit him, so he don't need to negotiate no more with you. You already did the damage. Now I just gotta ride this wave. So most of these people, they're not gonna get any money.
Yeah.
Because the threat is the money. You're threatening, I'm gonna do it. And then he gets scared enough to write the check.
Yeah.
Right? Once you out me and now I go through all of this, like, oh, okay, you don't have anything. Him throwing sex parties and shit like this and him compromising you to suck pee-pee for for a movie role and take that video. How do you prove you wasn't willing to do it? We don't know. Right? You're not going to be able to prove that in court.
Look, I read through the entire Lil Rod lawsuit, and there are some very ridiculous things in that lawsuit saying, Diddy promised that if I produce this album, I would win a producer of the year Grammy, and he would give me his $20 million Miami mansion.
Yeah,
like,
see?
really?
That's
He's
what
going
I'm
to give
saying.
you his $20 million Miami mansion on Star Island just to do a few tracks on an album that no one's going to buy?
And that's what, and see, that right there, little things like that
Yeah.
fuck up your case.
Yeah.
You go so extra that you mess up the case with just like you said it, like you read this part. Those little parts in there hurts your case.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna give you his $20 million. Shut up. Right? Just say he was gonna give you an extra $1 million or an extra 500. You nickel and dime. You don't go for these extravagant ass
Right.
Hey, he said he was gonna give me an extra 500,000, an extra 250. You throw it in so when it's all said and done, it came to 10 million.
I mean, Puffy actually lives in that home.
I
That's
know.
one of his main homes. I'll just give you my home that my kids stay at. Just you're doing a couple of tracks, but there's so much. Apparently, in this lawsuit, he claims that Puffy and one of his sons shot a man in a studio, and then managed to convince him to go outside and claim it was a drive-by. And he has pictures of the actual bathroom with blood all over it. He claimed that Puffy would try to make him do gay things. He dragged in a bunch of people. He actually dragged in 50 Cent's baby mother, Daphne Joy, said that she was a sex worker.
Yeah.
That started a whole
I've seen that. Which she wants to sue now. And how are you suing? How do you prove you're not a sex worker? How do you prove you're not? What are you gonna do? How do you prove it? You don't prove it. You can't prove it. If you had sex with Puffy and he bought you something,
you're a sex worker.
Lil Rod, that's sex working. Yeah, you see, and that's how that works. You can't. It's his perception of what he thinks you are at that moment in time, right? If you accepted a bag, if you accepted a trip, he's in his mind that is considered sex work, right? And that becomes a problem because that's opinion based.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. All he did was technically to Katt Williams at the beginning of the year. He just throws a bunch of names and a bunch of accusations, and from there you're trying to weed in what's real, what's fake.
Yeah, because 50 Cent allegedly filed for full custody of their son, and then she turned around and called him a rapist and say he never sees his son, and then he's like, oh, she moved next to me so she could try to get pregnant again, and back and forth and back and forth.
Well, technically, she called him a rapist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that 50 Cent can prove he's not, right? Where haven't I been charged? Did you file a claim against me?
Right.
No? Well, I'm suing you for defamation. Now that's a claim that 50 Cent, because you added a label on me with I can prove that I'm not because I haven't been charged. No one's claimed it. You didn't file it. There's no police report. Defamation of character. I'm suing you for that.
Right. I can't get these movie deals because they think I'm a rapist.
Yes.
Right. Young Miami got thrown into this. Apparently she was trafficking pink cocaine for him.
What is that?
Tucci. I guess it's a new drug, which is a mix of ecstasy and cocaine called Tucci. This was mentioned in the lawsuit also. I've never tried it. So I've never tried cocaine.
So that's in the lawsuit?
It's in the lawsuit. It's in the lawsuit.
But that's what I'm saying. Okay, little things like that. What the fuck does that have to do with you?
Well, he claimed that Young Miami and her cousin sexually assaulted him or tried to sexually assault him. I think the cousin tried to sexually assault him.
And how does he prove that?
He has pictures of them kind of hanging out. There's a bunch of stuff in there. There's photos, but there's no actual smoking gun that I saw.
That's what I'm saying. You have pictures of us hanging out.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you file a lawsuit? Did you file a police report? You didn't do any of that. So right here is just, you're just saying it for the spaghetti. Right? Like this right here, this information is in a lawsuit is useless. Right? All you do, that's what I said, all you're doing is you're just tagging everyone.
Yeah, just shooting up the whole club.
That's all you're doing.
Somebody might get hit.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Diddy's companies are now getting subpoenaed. It's a mess.
But that's what
Cuba Gooding Jr. got thrown in it. The guy, Lil Rod, said Cuba Gooding Jr. tried to sexually assault him. He said that he saw a video of Stevie J having gay sex with a white man with no condom. And I think like he included some little screen capture of this, and a gay porn star came forward and said, no, that's actually me.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That's
But that's what I'm saying. You see how you just...
Yeah, it'll unravel.
So that's what I'm saying. What is that? His real what claim does he have that has proof behind it?
I don't see any proof.
There's no proof of nothing.
I don't see any proof.
Right? So
it sounds like someone who worked with Puffy on his album, did some tracks. Puffy may have made him some big promises that didn't come true. I guess he had gotten paid like $26,000 and he asked for like $50,000 and Puffy said no, and claimed blacklisting and a bunch of other stuff you can't prove. I don't know, man. Like I said,
this is all
I've spoken on big platforms about this, and I've said, listen.
So 24,000 difference, and that's what this whole lawsuit is about?
I don't know. Might be part of it, yeah.
Because I'm trying to figure, like, okay, when you take everything out,
well, I mean, you're not.
What is the claim? The claim is sexual harassment. How do you prove
harassment, sexual assault, intimidation.
Wait, sexual assault. That means he assaulted you somehow.
Well, yeah, he claimed that Puffy tried to have gay sex with him multiple times. Yes.
Okay, what is trying?
I don't know.
Hey, you want to have some sex? Or did he tear your clothes off and do all that? Which is part of the trial?
He claimed that Puffy tried to do things with his butt.
Okay, so was there a law? Did you file a police report?
No, I don't.
Did you go check your booty out?
Was there an investigation of the booty?
I mean, we all can say that then. Like, you looked at me wrong. Ooh, you tried to have some butt sex with me. I'm suing you.
Here we go. Here's a quote. Throughout his time living with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs. That's one of the lines from the lawsuit.
Of his anus, not his buttocks. So he's not grabbing the booty.
No, the actual anus.
So he's going in there, touching it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So he's walking around naked? I mean, what the fuck? Is he walking around naked then?
I mean, how do you get to the anus?
Yeah, so he's walking around.
There's some barriers between the anus, at least two, underwear and pants, right?
So he's walking around booty hole naked.
Well, they claims that Puffy would walk around naked and shower in front of people and stuff like that as well. Like, it's a wild interview. It's wild. I mean, wild lawsuit. I'm sorry, it's a wild lawsuit. He claims that, here's another line. Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones's face and informed Mr. Jones that he's willing to kill his mother, Janice Combs, if he must in order to get what he wants. So he wouldn't think twice to harm Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones is Lil Rod.
How do you prove this? Like, I don't know how much money he was trying to get. It would have just probably been easier just to.
Well, I'll say this. I spoke to someone familiar with the whole Diddy Cassie situation, and he said that the number that she got was in the low 7 digits. People assumed, she got 20 million. She got 30 million. No, the low 7 digits.
No, I'm pretty sure anywhere from 2 to 5.
You're pretty close to the number I heard.
Yeah.
And people are like, that's way too low. She would never take that. I'm like, okay, slow down for a second. This is someone who's unemployed, has no music career whatsoever at this point, is married to a personal trainer, has, I think, 2 kids. When it comes to like a lawsuit like this, a civil case like this, when it has to do with like personal injury, you don't get taxed on it.
Mm-hmm.
So if she got, let's say, I don't know, 3 million. Let's just throw that number out there. Lawyer takes a third. She gets left with $2 million cash. No taxes.
Yeah.
You could essentially live out the rest of your life on that amount of money if you live
the same way you were before.
Very different than how you were. If you get a nice small house somewhere in, let's say, middle America, you put the money into an S&P 500, let it gather, compound interest, chip away maybe $50,000, $75,000 a year out of that, have your husband still work his job, maybe do some side jobs. You can live out the rest of your life off that. So it's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal.
It was better than what she had before.
Better than what she had before.
He mostly paid her for whatever the book was going to give her, probably times 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's some wild claims with male prostitutes and blowing up Kid Cudi's car and anything else like that.
Yeah, but those probably happened. But in reality, how do you prove it? Like,
Kid Cudi did say his car did get blown up. And
mine too.
And she what's that?
Mine too.
Your car got blown up?
Yeah.
In real life?
No, but but me saying yes, but how do I prove it? How do you, people don't realize the shit that happened 10, 20, 50 years ago. How do you prove it today? All I say, this girl, he sexually assaulted me back in 1995. Who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you? How do you prove I know you?
Yeah.
Oh, here's a picture. I signed I take pictures with a bunch of people every day. I mean, like, I don't know you. I don't need to claim, like, you don't have no physical proof of any of this actually happened or is happening. I assaulted you, prove it.
Look at Trump. That woman who claimed that he sexually assaulted her in the 80s just won like a $100 million lawsuit against him.
How?
She went to court and the jury sided with her.
Did he say he knew her?
He said he doesn't know who she is. And yet he lost.
But did he go to court?
He went to court.
He went to court and lost it in court?
And lost in court. And then he talked a bunch of shit about her, and then she sued him for defamation. And then he has to pay for that as well.
Is that the defamation?
Well, that's, yeah.
It's
part of the same case, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
yeah. Yeah, man, listen, it's a mess. Look, I've interviewed Puffy before. We've had a few small interactions here and there. I don't really know him. At the end of the day, it does seem like a witch hunt. He's going to have the best lawyers that money could buy. There's not going to be an R. Kelly situation who's broke, who's barely trying to scrape by. But, then again, Harvey Weinstein had a lot of money as well, and he's in prison right now.
But with Harvey, it's a little different, right? Because he admitted guilt by saying, didn't he say sorry?
I'm not sure.
I thought he apologized to someone and he paid a bunch of people off, which becomes guilt. So the only guilt will be Cassie, because that's the one he settled with, but we don't know what he's settling for, in a sense.
Well, when you settle, it doesn't mean that you're guilty.
I
know from from the public perception it does, but no.
No. Court it does.
Excuse me?
Court.
No, it does not.
Sometimes.
No, it does not. No, it does not. Settling means that both parties have agreed to stop legal proceedings.
Mm-hmm.
Settling, and usually in the settlement, there's usually the person will say not admitting any level of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
I've settled lawsuits before that I felt I had nothing to do with, but ultimately, I've spent $75,000 already. I could basically give the person $75,000 to settle it, or we go to court and I'm going to have to spend at least $150.
So it's cheaper.
You do the math, and you say it's cheaper to settle than to go forward with it and potentially win. And the person who was suing me was broke, so I wouldn't be able to sue them and get the money back.
Yeah.
So ultimately, a lot of times it's just a numbers game. When you go to mediation, I remember they even told us. They said, we don't care who's right or who's wrong. We just want a number.
No,
Then we didn't come up with a number that day.
Like
because the number was too high. But ultimately, we all got to a number, and everyone walked away relatively unhappy. But that's what a good compromise usually entails. No one's happy.
Yeah, even something like when you say sorry to someone, right? That the California rule is never say sorry because.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like when someone, they tried it with Jim Carrey for years. Just say sorry. Just apologize. And that's the trick. Make them apologize. Once they apologize, they're admitting some type of guilt because the innocent man wouldn't apologize.
Do you think that Diddy will do any prison time over this? Based on what you know right now.
For the Lil Rod?
No, the Lil Rod is a civil lawsuit for what he's being rated for.
We don't know what he's been rated for, so right. It's hard to say. We don't know what he's been rated for because.
But here's the thing: the feds, before they do something like a raid, something so high profile with a person this high profile, one of the biggest celebrities in the world, they usually have their ducks already lined up. The feds have a 98% conviction rate for a reason.
But who are they raiding? Did R. Kelly ever get raided?
I believe so. Yeah.
When?
His house got raided.
His house got raided?
Yeah.
But what were they raiding for?
I think
to find if kids were
sex tapes and stuff like that, which they found.
See if kids were locked in. Yeah.
Which they found.
Those are underage, right?
Some were.
Where they end up getting him?
I think he didn't even get convicted of that. I think he got convicted of trafficking, sex trafficking. Flying people out for the reason of sex.
Yeah.
That's what he got convicted for.
So most likely it looked like anything where whatever they're after they don't get, so they try to compromise him somewhere else to make him guilty on something else. Does he do time? I don't know, because we don't know what they're gonna try to get him with. What we hear, like underage, I don't know if that's a real thing, right? I don't think that's a real thing when there's like underage kids.
Without Kelly?
No, with Puff. See,
I mean, there are allegations in the Lil Rod lawsuit, but there's no proof that anyone was.
Yeah, that's what I said. So that's, since no one's came out, I don't see that one. Whatever Lil Rod has to do, I don't see anything with that. So it's, the sex trafficking sense of I'm going out of town having sex with people. It's, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an I don't know right now.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I don't know.
Yeah,
at this point, if I was Puffy, I would just leave the country and say fuck it. If I felt like there was a serious threat to my freedom, I don't see a reason to stay in the States.
But it just seems, what is me having sex parties? There's nothing wrong with that.
Until someone says that they were coerced.
How do you prove it?
And this is the problem, like coerced. Like, who hasn't been with a woman and talked their way into sex to a certain degree? You know what I'm saying? Like,
legally recording. If you're legally recording some people having sex, and I don't know what that charge is in California, right? Like, let's say he was filming people, right? So he can have dirt on them, right? What is that charge? Who is the people, right? Because at that point, for those individuals to press charges, we got to know who those individuals are, and I'm pretty sure some of those guys are not gonna press charges if they, right? Because if somebody's that famous enough and they're like, well, I'd just rather be left out of this, right? So most of those tapes, if those people are judges and all of them, they're gonna want those tapes removed anyway. They're not gonna want those on records.
Yeah. And I guess one of the girls that was suing him as a Jane Doe, the judge recently
told her to
said that they have to actually reveal her name.
And what was her claim?
I'm sure it was sexual assault. I think this was the one lawsuit where it had like these girls that were like this girl claimed she was underage in the studio. She had pictures of her in the studio, but it's just pictures in a studio.
Yeah, how do you prove you had
sex? You invite someone over, they bring their little sister with them, they're hanging out.
But that's what I'm saying. You're trying
you always see girls in the studio. That's just part of the studio.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, you was in the studio, you came with this person, I signed an autograph.
Yeah,
and
took a picture with you, that's it. Yeah.
Now, how do we figure out who's telling the truth?
Man, I feel you. The whole thing is messed up. I'm not a big fan of it.
Kind of like the T.I. did. Well, like T.I. didn't even get it. Like, when they made those crazy claims, and T.I. was like, I don't know what you're talking about. It goes nowhere. Like, how do you prove it? You just hope someone's that stupid enough to be like, oh yeah, I remember you. No, it was consensual. If no one's stupid enough to say that, like, no, we didn't have sex. I don't know nothing about you.
You talked about this recently on your podcast. And I remember, I think Nick Young mentioned this in our interview, I think. But the whole thing with you and Draya.
Ooh.
You brought it up.
I did?
Did you?
No.
Oh, Nick brought it up.
Yeah, Nick brought it up.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about that.
You know nothing about that. He's making all this up. When you were a rookie, didn't Gil make you like drive him to like the strip club?
Showed me to the club to pick up some chick. I was a chauffeur. He made me put the hat on.
The chauffeur hat?
Yeah, chauffeur hat. Yeah. In front of the club. I'm in front of the club with the car like this. Waiting for Gil to come out.
Honestly, these stories sound made up. Like honestly, when I'm hearing it from the outside, if I didn't actually know Gil personally and interview him multiple times, I'm like, all right, Nick's just making up a bunch of shit to make it sound
front of the club.
Like, no, it's actually true.
With the shirt, like the shirt for a hat, with the little suit, with waiting for Gil. But he paid me for it, so I'm like, all right, cool.
Well, but he would get a girl and start messing with her in the backseat?
That's I can't say the name he had, but he had a good one time. And I'm like, is this real? He in the back door, I'm driving. They doing whatever in the back. I'm just...
What is he making up?
Well, you were in the back seat with Draya while he was driving?
I don't know. I had 3 women back there that day, so
Was Draya one of them?
I can't remember.
Do you know Draya?
Do I know Draya? Yeah, I know Draya. Yeah, it's Draya.
Have you ever had relations with Draya? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, a long time ago.
A long time
ago. I was wild. I was wild a long time ago. There's probably a lot of names that went through this brain.
I mean, it's not anything to be ashamed of. I mean, she's a pretty girl.
No, I mean, when people are in, situations and they have families and moving on, I can't.
Okay, fair enough. Well, now Draya, who's 39 years old at this time right now, is having a child with 22-year-old Jalen Green.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen is, I guess, the same age as her oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
And people are having a field day with this whole situation.
Of course.
How do you feel about this?
In what aspect, right? Someone asked me, and this is what they asked me. They said, would you rather have your son date his age or older woman, right? I chose for my son, I said, I'll rather choose an older woman. And I said, the reason is this. To build an empire, you need stability. You need focus. And someone the same age as my son would not actually have that. It's more of a selfish thought process. My son will be selfish and the girl will be selfish, right? They would both be in that selfish mindset. And empires have been corrupted from young girls wanting more attention, right? They're going to tell on you. They're going to call the cops. They need the drama, right? So you're going to lose, every year, there's hundreds of millions of dollars being not given or taken away because of certain claims because of the age, right? Older women are not doing that. One, they're old as fuck, right? Or they've already been through that, done that. Two, even if they made a claim, they're old as fuck. People are gonna laugh at it like, what are you doing over here, grandma, right? Two, they put more stability in a young person. They feel like they have more controls. Hey, don't go wild, do this. And they're gonna throw them old women or old men games on them, which keeps them more grounded, right? So I said the empire for the first 5-6 years before you're smart enough to understand what not to do, it's safer with the older woman than it is with a younger woman, right? So when you think about Miles Bridges and those type of ages, the young girls they don't care about none of that, right? All it is, you hit me, I'm telling, or this, and, they're going to fuck up the bag, fucking up your bag. So so if I have to look and say, choose one for the next 6 years, I'd rather you choose older than you do younger.
Yeah, but how much older? Because this is nearly twice his age.
It happens. It happens. I mean, I was dating when I was 20, 21, I was dating 34, 35.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been in serious relationships with older women, but it'd be like 3-4 years older. It wasn't like 20 years older. And 20 years older with 2 kids, is,
be honest,
it's a lot.
It seems there is a double standard.
Of course.
But it should be in this sense. Older men to younger girls seems just creepy. I don't know why. It just seems like we're the nasty of the group. Right? It's like our intentions are just horrible, right? It just seems horrible.
Yeah.
Like 40 versus 20, like all the nasty things we want to do with someone young. When it goes from an older woman to a younger man, I don't know. It seems more caregiving. I don't know. Like she wants to cook us food. She wants to protect us. Yeah, she wants to protect us motherly. Versus like we're trying to figure out. I think the people when it's 40, when it's a man that's older, I think just porn is just written just disgusting porn type of environments that we're gonna put them through. I don't know. It just yeah. It is a double standard.
It is a double standard. And look, allegedly, Jalen Green also impregnated 2 other women at the same time. And Draya
young being young. That's young. But that's that age.
That's that young shit. I mean, yeah, and it's not stopping with Draya. Cher, who's 77, is dating Amber Rose's baby father, who's I think 37.
Yeah, okay, but when you look at relationships like that, I mean,
That's a sugar mama relationship.
It's not really.
He's getting paid for that, one
even
way or another.
Yeah, no, one way or another. Because I mean, let's think about it. Is that relationship to Sherwin? Is that a 10-year relationship? No.
She gonna be dead in 10 years.
You know what I mean? So, for this one, I know at this point it's just make the rest of my years happy. That's what that relationship is. The share one is like, I might not be here 15 years from now. I picked you. Can you just make me happy for the next 15 years? And I'm going to leave you whatever I'm going to leave you.
Yeah.
That's that role, right? And you just got to play your role to play your role.
Right.
This ain't no, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like Kris Jenner and Corey, what's his name?
Yeah, how old is that?
Corey Gamble, age 43.
Okay, yeah.
Kris Jenner, age 143. No, she's 68.
43 and 68, which is damn near the same thing.
25 years.
Yeah, 25-year different. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like it's all, it all depends on what that person's looking for. Is Jalen Green and Draya going to be 20-year? Probably not.
Man, listen.
I mean, the age difference is so different. Like,
it is different,
that's such a big gap where physically we're at two different points in our life.
I mean, listen,
right?
man, I had heard that China actually announced that they're changing the zodiac sign, and this year is going to be the year of the cougar.
The cougar, I mean, listen.
The
as long
Cougars are running it this
as
year.
long as people are happy. I mean, they do have an advantage. You got experience.
Yeah.
Right? He's a young dude. I mean, he has 3 kids or possibly 3 kids
Possibly
right now.
3 kids, yeah.
I mean, he's gonna have more. I mean, unless he gets snipped. I mean, he's in that age where he's invincible.
Yeah.
We've all been through it. We've all been through it. It's rock star status.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Well, and then there's, of course, Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan.
now she's dumb.
Really? Why is that? I guess they broke up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where's she going?
Find some other young cub somewhere.
Yeah, there's no one your age. No one your age wants you, right? Even though you probably look better than everybody at your age, right? And the guys that will take care of you and take you serious, you don't want they old asses,
Right.
So you don't want
meat.
Yeah, so you want the young dudes where them young dudes don't have the same mindset. They're not in the same stage as you. So what you're complaining about with Jordan is the same thing you're going to complain about anyone at that age and below. You're not going to be on the same track. These guys are going to want families, going to settle down. You done had all your kids, so you want to party.
Yeah.
You might as well go 18, 19. No,
Yeah.
where your mind's, remember, she lost her youth having kids early.
Yeah.
Right? So she became a mother early.
Uh-huh.
Right? Her kids are old. They're done. Now she's trying to relive that age. So the only way to relive it and actually enjoy it is to date that age. Now that age is 20, 21, 22. That's that age. Right? Her age is the Jalen Greens. Right? Where she's not trying to be a mother. Right?
No.
Now you can go to the
Well,
NBA.
one of her sons plays for the NBA. In fact, this guy that she was dating was playing on the same team as her son.
But that's the age where you get to just have fun. And now the guy who you're having fun with, since you don't want to get pregnant, cool. Shit, I'm not trying to have any kids right now. But Marcus is at the age where he's trying to have kids.
He's 37.
Yeah, so he's at that I want to have some kids age. So you have to go actually younger than that. You got to go 20s, which makes you look stupid. But hey, are you trying to have fun and look stupid?
Yeah.
Or you want to be conservative? And so at this point, you went from future, you went to this, you're here. You look stupid anyway, so you might as well just make yourself happy and then go to the 20, anywhere from 20 to 26.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I interviewed John Sally, who played, with Scottie Pippen. What he said, which was very interesting, was that when they would travel, she would be on the plane with Scottie. And I said, is this typical in the NBA? He said, no, you don't see wives or girlfriends.
Oh, they do that now.
Oh, they do that now. But back then, he said it was unheard of.
Yeah.
It was unheard of. You don't bring your wife with you on the plane to the game. Like, they might meet you over there, but not. Like, she was right there with him 24/7. He was completely in love with her. And look, when they got divorced, she got a piece of his pension, which to me was wild.
How?
That's the way it worked out in the courts. No prenup. Get a prenup, everybody.
Prenup
will
and
change your life.
post.
And what?
Post-nup.
Post-nup?
Yeah. So your prenup is protecting everything you had before her. Post-nup is to protect everything while you're with her. So that's why people still lose money. So they got a prenup. So whatever your prenup is, say you got married today.
Yeah.
Right? Everything you have and made from today.
It depends on the prenup.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but it depends on the prenup. Because actually, like, let's just say you have a company and the prenup says that your assets, that you own this company at the time that you guys get married and the company grows over time, the prenup will still protect it.
Protect that, yeah. But there's but no one thinks about that. You start other stuff and get new stuff then.
Well, yeah, yeah. And look, at the end of the day, every prenup can be challenged. Every contract can be challenged. And, in the process of a bad divorce, the wife or the husband, could challenge the prenup, and you may have to go to court and spend a couple $100,000 trying to fight it out and stuff like that. But sometimes there's prenups that basically say that if you try to challenge it and you lose, you're responsible for the legal fees. So there's a lot that goes into it. And I tell every man and woman who has any sort of potential, get a prenup. And if the person you're marrying does not want a prenup, it's probably not the right person.
And then if you want the prenup to stick, work on that prenup for a year together. Don't do that 30 days, we about to get married. Like, don't even set no dates of nothing. Don't propose.
Until the prenup's done.
Until the prenup's done.
You had a prenup?
I never got married.
Oh, you did it. Yeah, you're right. You had kids, but you never got married.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just child support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I said. You do the prenup before you even marry. So when a judge goes back and says, hey, when did this prenup? Before we even propose or anything, we negotiated. We did all this before there was no rush on any of this stuff.
Well, you mentioned on your show that you actually know NBA players who pay women up to $60,000 a month to just keep things quiet.
That's the going rate.
That's the going rate?
For the most part.
Okay.
I mean,
that's $720,000 a year? A quarter million a year?
I mean, when I say pay, listen, everybody thinks there's this thing called tricking, right? And if that's what you want to call it, then fuck it. Call it whatever you want. But for the most part, that's why you don't see NBA players in most of these situations that you see the rest of the world in, right? There's no sexual harassment claims. There's no, rape claims, being given because, most of the deals we have these are go-get-it girls. And most of these go-get-it girls are dealing with 4 or 5 players at the same time. And the only time there's an issue is she's messing with 2 players and one player is, let's say, he's a superstar status and she's messing with a regular-ass all-star. And he gets offended, right? Like, he's not even on the same status as me. You have that little bickering.
Most beef between men are usually over a woman. If you really peel away the layers,
it's a woman.
You'll find a woman at the heart of that onion. And I mean, 60,000, listen, if you're making 30, 40 million, that ain't shit. To have someone who's solid, who's not going to blab. And, ultimately, I'll say it like this. Even if you don't have 60,000 a month and you want to keep things quiet between you and a romantic relationship, and I've always known this, just make sure that a woman never leaves angry.
Yeah.
But pacify a situation. If you guys get into an argument and she threatens whatever, humble yourself, apologize, put some money in her pocket, have her walk out feeling like she got what she wanted.
And the 60,000 was between 3 dudes, 20.
Okay, so 160 for one guy.
Yeah, it was 20. If she's messing with 3 dudes, 3 max players, and they all paying her $20,000 a month, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, you live in a nice penthouse. You're driving a Benz. You got some money in your pocket. You don't have to be a sex worker for a Diddy. I mean,
you're a sex worker for 3 NBA players.
Pick your sex worker.
Yeah, sex worker for 3 NBA players who's probably wild as shit. You probably doing some threesomes here and there.
Yeah, foursomes, fivesomes.
You know, hey, get your 3 to 8 years in. You know, beat up
stacking money.
Then you date a regular dude who don't know nothing about you.
There you go. There you go. Until he Googles you. You had Zion Williamson on your show, and he dealt with his own nightmare with that one porn star.
Yep.
And honestly, like, from the outside looking in, look, he ended up announcing that he was having a baby with an Instagram model girl. And obviously she caught feelings and she decided to blow him up. But he's not married. He's not doing anything wrong. I'm sure it was embarrassing because she was so extra with it and a lot of outlets picked it up. She even had like a fake face tattoo of his name and stuff like that. But I feel like it blew over and nothing happened.
Because if you notice, most of the NBA players didn't respond because
they were doing it themselves.
We're doing it. You know what I mean? You know, that's the same. That's what you're doing the same thing we're doing. You're finding those type of girls who's just sitting there taking care of you, making you feel comfortable so you can just keep doing your life without any responsibility of emotional women. The bad part is she was that emotional threat that you don't see coming, right? So when she sees something in the news, she responds to it. Instead of responding to it through you, she goes loud with it.
Yeah.
A woman like her, I would have told her, shut the fuck up. One, you shut the fuck up because, one, he's still going to keep taking care of you because he's still going to want those benefits that you're giving him.
Yeah.
Two, other players.
They're not going to want to mess with you.
They're not going to want to mess with you because
see what you're capable of.
Yep.
But then again, you could say that. And I remember I know a girl who's like that, who like was putting dudes on blast, but she actually said the funny part is that more dudes will actually reach out to her.
That's rapper shit. That's not NBA.
Oh, that's not NBA shit. Yeah,
that's
right.
rapper. Yeah. They wanna be attached to that name so they can get their shit out there, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Is it a rapper? Is it she mess with rappers?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, as well as some sports players.
Yeah, because
I'm not gonna say.
But she didn't out the sports players, did she?
She was going to out a sports player. She actually called me and said she wanted to do it. I talked her out of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I like this is no win for you. Like,
yeah, like you know mad. when it comes to most athletes, we try to stay. I'm pretty sure it was a football player then. Most
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Most like so when it comes to just athletes with money, right? It's we're hidden. Think about in this social media world. How much do you know about NBA players outside of the game? What do you know about their life? Huh? We see Clay do you know what Clay does? No. You don't know what Steph does. You don't know what Kawhi does, Paul George, like Kyrie.
Well, we know their families, so LeBron puts his family out there. Steph obviously puts his family out there. The ones that are married, I feel they kind of parade that.
Yeah,
but the ones who are dating, you usually don't know very much.
Like James Harden's a club king, but do you ever see him? Right? So the NBA players knows how to hide. So most of the women that we're going to be running with will be those type of. We're looking for the personality, right? So for the most part, if she should jump off, as long as she's a quiet jump off, that's the person we want. You don't want the loudmouth types. That's rapper stuff because that girl can put them out and then, oh, you attached to this name and nah, that's not what you're on TV every day. We don't give a fuck about being famous in the news.
Yeah, you're already famous.
Yeah, so like the girl who like videotaped, Rick Ross. The one he just broke up with, that she's always filming, NBA players don't want to deal with someone like that.
Yeah.
Like you always got the camera on. Like the girl who got the camera on all the time, we despise them.
I've always kept my personal relationships personal. You don't see me put out anything. You don't see anyone no one I'm seriously involved with. You don't see my family. You don't see my home. You don't see my cars. Like, because I just feel like if it's important, you should keep it quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never liked being around. In fact, my one problematic relationship when I think about my past was this was during the MySpace days, but it was essentially an Instagram model, who was dating a bunch of different rappers and was constantly trying to put stuff out there. And it was like, it was too much. It just wasn't my speed.
Exactly.
I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
But it's not. It's.
Yeah.
Women don't understand. I don't think women really grasp the understanding of males. Right? When a woman says, "I have these dudes in my DM," yeah, you have a bunch of me's in your DM, and the personality of a man is, if you have a man, I'm gonna keep throwing him a rod. Because I want to be side. I want to be number 2. I don't want to be number 1. Because the fact you're giving me attention lets me know you're looking at this bait. So I'm just going to keep.
You would want to be a number 2 guy?
I'd rather be a number 2. We already know what number 1. Number 1, you're the dude that you complain about to number 2, right? You're going to complain about me to him. He knows about me. I don't know about him. You're giving him all the fun part of you. Right? I'm dealing with the bullshit. He getting all the cootie, cat, and that. Wow, no, that's what I want. I want the non-headache of you. Right? So number 2s always love to just sit back and, hey, yeah, I get to enjoy it. Those are the DMs. Everybody want to be number 2 in the DM. They don't want the responsibility of what you bring in. But women don't understand this.
Yeah.
Why would I ever want to be number 1 after being number 2? I know what you're capable of.
Huh.
I hear your complaints. It's fucking same shit I do. Same fucking shit, ignore you, don't do that. You know what I mean? So, if you want this dude on the side as a woman, you ignore him and say, I can't fuck with you until I'm single. But I'm going to respect my man, even though I don't like this dude right here. I can't talk to you until I'm done with him.
Yeah.
A dude will want you more because of that. If I can get you while you with a man, I've
never liked that though. I've never liked being a number 2 guy. I've just never liked.
But have you went from a number 2 to number 1?
No, never.
Would you respect her?
No.
Yeah. See, there we go.
Yeah. It's just never been my speed. Either I'm the only one, regardless of my situation.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm good, because it ends up being messy. You know what I'm saying? Like, then you potentially have a beef with her boyfriend or husband or whatever else, and then that could turn into something that you just don't want to deal with.
That's weak. I look at it like this.
Yeah, I remember, for example, back in the day, way back in the day, there was a girl that I was messing with who I guess had a boyfriend, and he found out, and he like beat her up. And I remember just feeling bad about the situation, because I felt like I had somehow had a role in what happened to her. And I just didn't like that feeling. And I never saw her after that. I was just like, I'm good. You need to just stay over there.
No, I don't step on dudes' toes if I know they're in a relationship. I'm not trying to holler.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to respect you anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't matter. Like, you know, if you have a boyfriend and I'm sitting there still trying to holler at you, I don't respect nothing about you.
Yeah. Or the boyfriend.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna put myself in that situation, because most dudes ain't secure enough to realize, don't blame me.
Yeah.
I'm not the problem. They're
gonna have beef with you.
They're gonna have beef with me.
You have to deal with the man at that point, and then who knows?
Now, you want to fight me because she gave it to me? Nah, see. So I don't need. That's why I said, because most men aren't secure enough to realize, yo, it's not the dude's fault.
No, it's the girl.
It's the girl's fault. So keep your focus there.
Forcibly.
Because if it ain't me, it's gonna be someone else. It's probably 5 of us. Sorry, the way she get down, it's probably 5.
And they paying her $20,000 a month.
You know. So,
you and Nick Young had a back and forth on, I believe, your show where you guys were talking about Saucy Santana.
Yeah.
What the hell was that about?
All right, so look. So it's on my. So the first part was on my show. He just came on.
Okay.
And he just told me that he just finished College Hill, Celebrity. Okay. And what the fuck is that? And then he's telling me about it. So he started off by telling me, he was like, yeah, you know, you just said her name.
Saucy Santana.
No.
That's a he.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Draya?
No.
Nope.
Larsa Pippen? Amber Rose.
In that?
Help me out here.
What's her friend?
Black China?
Black, yes.
Okay.
So he says Black China first. And I'm like, ooh. He's like, yeah, you know, that's every man's dream to be bunked up in a room with Black China. So, you know, I'm trying to give him the scene like, yo, you got Black China? And he was like, nah, I didn't get Black China. Right? Now think about where we finished off at. Nah, I didn't get Black China. And then he was like, oh, also was there Saucy Santana.
Who's the man?
So I'm like,
with a BBL.
No, yeah. So look, I'm like, Saucy Santana. He's like, yeah, he's a rapper. Never heard, right? But the way we finished the last one, and then he mentions them, I was like, okay, Saucy Santana. So I was like, who's that? Let me Google. And then he was like, no, don't Google. He said, don't Google because I know you're gonna laugh, right? So I'm like, okay, now I wanna. So I put in, I put Sauce. So there's a, Sauce
Walker.
So I'm like, oh, Sauce Walker? He was like, no, Santana. So I'm like, Sauce Santana. And then Saucy Santana came up. So when I seen the picture, right, I just laughed because beard and then it has like nails in the picture. And I'm like, oh, hell no, right? Laugh because I'm like, this is your roommate? Right? This is your roommate? And then when I came back to the camera, so I came back to the camera, I hit the video and it's twerking. So the twerk, and I'm like, this ain't the same person. So this is you, Nick? And then he's looking at it, I'm laughing at it like, yeah, this is you. You get, so I'm trolling him like, yeah, nah. You wanted to talk about, what's her name?
Black China.
Black China. This is the ass. So I'm trolling him, and we was calling Saucy it and that. And then, and then he got offended.
Saucy
got offended.
Well, didn't one of you say, in terms of Saucy's twerking, a show is a show? Or something
Yeah.
Like
so that was the first part. So
okay.
that week, they were trying to like kind of cancel, and I'm like, damn, Nick, your friend mad at us. And so I was like, well.
Wait, so Nick Young is friends with Saucy Santana?
Yeah.
Because they're on a show together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so, Saucy.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Saucy responded, like, I'm cool, I'm a cool ass nigga. Right. It's all funny to me.
Well, you know something? Because I catch myself calling Saucy her because he presents himself as a woman. Wears high heels.
Yeah.
But he has a beard, which is weird.
Yeah,
But
now you see where my humor is about to come in at. So now our second day of the show, this Sunday, we're talking about Saucy. So but think about it. I done went to the bank, I got hundreds from the bank. So, I'm ready for the prop. So now it's just lobbying the joke so I can do my thing. And then that's when I said the twerk. Oh, I started off in the dark. In the dark, you couldn't tell who was better, Saucy or Megan Thee Stallion, right? So
I could tell.
Yeah, so I'm sure. Yeah.
I could tell.
So yeah, I'm trolling. And then I'm like, a show's a show, but. That's what I said. It was all set up because I took the money out so I could do it. Because one thing I know about canceling, as long as you give a gay a compliment, they forget about it.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Kinda.
Hey man, shout out to all my gay viewers out there.
Shout
out to all my gay friends. Shout out to Jason from Hollywood Unlocked. I did a show recently. Man, there's cool gay people out there, man. Like,
oh no, yeah, Jason's funny.
Yeah, Jason Lee.
I'm about to say like somebody like Jason knows my humor already. So right,
man.
so for the most part, they didn't, it wasn't. I wasn't trying to be offensive. I just troll. I don't give a fuck, right? I don't care. It's just funny, dude with a nails, BBL, and fucking a beard. That's just funny to me.
It's wild that a man would get a BBL. Honestly, it's really just. I don't know. I can't put my head around it. No Diddy. It just blows my mind that a man would actually get a surgery that might kill him to get a BBL.
I didn't even know this was. It was the first time.
You got a big hairy BBL face. I can't. I'm sorry, man. I just.
But like, no, to be honest, just just dealing with the LGBT community, because they're so defensive, right? You do have to walk carefully, right? And if you jokingly joke, they seem more receptive of it versus the angry bashing.
Yeah, no,
of it.
man, listen.
Because I remember Saucy said something that was like, yeah, this is my baby daddy. And I can see all the comments, like, and this is what a lot of women say, you better not bash him because you opened it up. And I was like, you're right. I can't, you're right. You can't, I'm trolling, and because that troll became, I'm your baby daddy, I can't go over the top and become disrespectful. You just beat me at the troll game. That's all. You got me. There's nothing I can do here.
Look, in the words of my man D.L. Hughley, if you could take a dick, you could take a joke. Okay, so to all the gay viewers out there, man, listen. We all get joked on. I get called the feds. You get your own haters.
Yeah.
People troll you about whatever they want to troll you about. It is what it is. Take it with a grain of salt and don't take it too seriously, because 99% of the time it's not that serious.
And that's the thing where the gay community and the straight community, the gay community have to really understand this. If you want to be considered equal, you can't try to cancel when someone's talking about you. That's the norm. Everyone gets talked about. You just got to accept it, talk shit back, and move on. But every time somebody says something that you don't like and you go to canceling, then there's this look on like, I don't fuck with you. That's why I don't,
I remember like a year ago, I got into it on social media because I had found out the head of PR at Warner Brothers, she was purposely stopping every artist from doing interviews with me. And I got upset and I called her out, and I kind of dragged in this girl, Shirley Jew, who had been doing some bookings for me. And I felt bad about it. I actually went on her show and I apologized to her and everything else like that. So we're cool about that. But I remember during the whole conversation, she was like, Vlad, like, you were attacking women, and I'm like, yo, look, at no point during any of these back and forths or any of the work that any of us have done with each other have I ever treated anyone like a woman. I've treated everyone like a coworker. We're all in business. We're in the music business. We each have our priorities. We're all trying to make money and so forth. So, but when things go bad and I point out bad business practices, then it's suddenly I'm attacking a woman. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you can't have it both ways. You can't ask for equality, but then ask for special treatment when things don't go right. You could have it one way or another. I prefer equality. But if you want special treatment, then the equality gets thrown out the window. You can't ask for equal treatment, but ask for special treatment when things don't go your way. You got to take the good and the bad. And I think that's the problem with the female community, the gay community, the trans community, and so forth. They ask for equality, and until that equality is a deficit to them, then they want the special treatment and they want to be a special class.
That's everybody in life, right? I want to be an NBA player, but I don't want to go through the pain that it takes to be one, right? That's just like anybody. Everybody wants the prize, but don't want to put the work in, So, and that's always going to be my thing with anyone. That if you want me to treat you a certain way, then it works both ways.
Yes,
right. It works both ways, right? Like even with the gay community, the first thing they're gonna do to a straight man is make him gay.
Right.
Yeah, that's their go-to.
I've been called the F word by gay people.
Yeah, that's the easiest thing for them to do. Oh, he must like me. That's why he's talking about me. All right. Okay. Right. It's like the defense mechanism. We all have it. Gay community's defense mechanism is make straight men gay.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you make me gay, then you can't cancel me because I'm gay. Right. you can't do that. That's you have to understand how it works. You can't make, because as I said, like there's just certain things that if I say it to you, it's horrible, but you can say the same thing to me. Offensive, a gay man making a straight man gay is kind of offensive.
Oh man, listen,
Right?
I remember when Saucy Santana was beefing with DJ Academics and Whack 100. Think Saucy threatened to rape Academics. See, I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna bend you over and fuck you. And everyone's like, did Saucy just threaten to rape somebody? Like, how is this okay? How is this okay? Imagine a man beefing with a woman saying, yeah, I'll rape you. Like, whoa.
No, it's serious.
Kiss those corporate deals goodbye, right then and there. But Saucy saying that he'll rape another man because he's mad at him is kind of just considered funny and okay.
And
that's the double standard.
That's the double standard.
Yeah.
And I said that's the problem with the gay community is you have a playbook that you get to use, which is every word, everything that you can desire. You have this to go at someone, and then they have this mediocre, small Cliff Note book that they got to play by. And if they try to use anything outside of this Cliff Notes, they get canceled for it. You can't be verbally abusive and then be a victim if they say something you don't like. You're saying a whole bunch of shit that I don't like.
Yeah.
And as soon as I say something you don't like, boom.
Yeah.
You can tell me that I'm gay, my kids is gay, you're gonna do this and this. I call you glitter booty. Oh my God, I don't what? I'm the worst human being on earth. But that's it. So with me, I'm just gonna always troll and everything is gonna be more humor. It's not, I'm not bashing. It's just fucking funny. It's all funny to me.
Lamar Odom has a new podcast with Caitlyn Jenner.
That makes sense.
Well, number one, you told a story that you saw Lamar Odom watching porn in the shower.
No, heard.
Oh, you heard?
Yeah, so I missed the first game.
Okay.
Right? I'm in the big three. I'm the captain, and he's one of the co-captains. And I said, yo, how did the first game go? It was in Charlotte because I was in court, child support court. They said, I was like, yo, how Lamar look? And I was like, oh, he looked all right, look a little rusty, this and this. And it was like, but no, wait, hold on. And then it was like, yo, while we're taking a shower, the dude is watching porn. Just taking a shower, just watching it. And I was like regular porn? And he's like, regular porn? He's just watching porn. Like, you know how we watch a movie or listen to music? He's watching porn. And then out of the shower, while the coach is talking, he's just watching porn. And I was like, yo, he's wild. And it was like, yo, just the weirdest. But yeah, he just watching full porn scene. Just yeah. So when is the next game? Okay, yeah. Like it was just fucking regular TV. So he's crazy.
Let me tell you my story. And this is the first time I'm going to say this on camera. So I did an interview with Lamar 4 years ago. And I paid him for the interview, gave him an appearance fee, which I do sometimes. And, he came in, did the interview, the dope interview, told his whole life story. We had a nice rapport, everything else like that. Since then, we had 2 other interviews scheduled with him. And he canceled them like last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally like an hour or 2 before the interview, it got canceled. And I think he was supposed to get some sort of appearance fee on those as well. So I think he wanted to up the fee last minute and weird behavior, whatever else. So I was approached again this week to do an interview with him again to promote his show, this podcast. And I told my man, all right, look, I'll do it, but he's already canceled on me twice. I'm not going to pay him an appearance fee. We're already thousands in the hole because of this guy. So if he wants to promote the show, I'll do it, but I'm not going to pay him. No, he going to do it. Everything's cool. Canceled on me again.
That sounds about...
Canceled on me again. And then when I DM'd him and I was like, yo, this is the 3rd time you canceled on me last minute. Do you have some sort of personal problem with me? A woman named Gina Rodriguez, claiming to be his manager, answers, I'm his manager. The interview was never scheduled. But since you have this attitude, we're not interested in doing any more interviews with you. So then I talked to my man again, and I'm like, I sent him the DMs, and I'm like, yo. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we got a response from him. He said, oh, I got paid to do the first interview. Why would I do another one for free? And then when I responded to that, she's like, oh, stop crying. That's not true. And then she blocked me. So anyways, fuck this bitch, Gina Rodriguez. Fuck this dirty ass bitch. I can imagine being an old woman who's relying on management fees from Lamar Odom at this point in her career.
Ooh.
And listen, I don't know whether Lamar is still on drugs, but this is definitely crackhead behavior that I'm seeing.
No, no, he's always been like that. He's one of those, like think about just an NBA player, right? A Laker, right? They're moving in real time. What they say at 12 o'clock might not be the same at 3 o'clock, might not be the same at 4 o'clock, right? So you have to be, it's one of those things where you're going to have to go to him and pull up and I'm here. And he's like, all right, cool.
But he did an interview with me already.
We
We already have a rapport. He got paid for the interview. He knows that we do good business.
I was his coach.
And okay, so what'd you see?
Getting him to practice and he's in town.
Yeah, that's
Getting
what I'm saying.
Yo,
I will
Mark.
never have Lamar Odom on my show again.
Like,
When she said, and we're not interested in doing any more interviews, I'm like, I responded, I said, fuck those interviews.
Like, nah, you got to pick. Like
Nah,
he's like, yo,
I'm good.
I'm coming. I'm picking your ass up. I'm going to drop, and it's.
But he's not that important.
But it's just some people.
He's not that important in order to make people jump to these types of hoops.
It's just some people. It's just some people. He's
Maybe
one of
he
the,
thinks he's that important.
No,
He's
it's not even important.
I do actual superstar players.
It's the personality. The personality is like the laid back, beach type of mentality, right? They're not. They don't have a schedule.
You don't think that drugs has any type of role in this?
Nah, they just don't have a schedule.
He's admitted serious drug problems.
He's probably high. He was probably sober when he
agreed to do
it. And was high and like, I'm tired. Fuck that, I'm tired.
I'm watching porn right now, okay?
Like that's why you can't take it.
I'm in the shower watching porn. I can't do this Vlad interview right now, okay? I'm in the middle of the scene,
that's what I'm
saying.
Yeah, you can't take it. It's not a personal thing. It's just,
man, listen.
Day to day, hour to hour, that mindset just changes.
Listen, man, but the thing is that for a business, it's serious. Not only do we lose thousands of dollars, but we also lose a day of shooting, which we could have filled in with another slot. We also lose all the work that a group of people did to prepare for this interview, all the research I did. Like, it's a very disrespectful thing. So when you see this, Lamar, and you will, as well as your bitch-ass manager, Gina Rodriguez, both y'all can go fuck yourselves. Because honestly, you're wasting people's time and you're wasting people's money. And it's not a good way to do business.
Now, but just for the defense of someone like Lamar, he's never learned how to be a business or a businessman, right? And NBA players are learning. We've used our talent as basketball players, right? So we know we're getting paid to show up at practice, which mentally half the time we're not there. Right, and then we mentally have to be ready for the game and the game only. We're not gonna always be at both, right? For the most part, we're gonna be there at night for a check. Other than that, you can't rely on us for shit, right? You can't rely on us to go to the hospital and see the kids and they die. We barely want to check our phones for what's the name. We're fucking. You can't count on us. Don't put us as your emergency for the most part, right? So. We've never learned how to be business or businessman. We just learned how to be athletes. So when you're saying, all right, I'm done playing, now I got to conduct this business, I don't know how important your time is, right? I never gave a fuck about someone's time then. He needs to learn that now.
How old is he now? Like 40-something?
Yeah, but he's learning.
But look.
What has he done that's very important?
Okay, but hold on. I understand your argument in this, right? Now, if this was the first athlete I dealt with, I could be like, okay, I get you. I guess athletes are like this. But I've interviewed at least 100 professional athletes, and 99% of them don't do this.
Which one?
I just did Michael Vick. John Sally's a regular on my show.
Professional? You're right there.
Have you ever just not shown up when we've had something scheduled?
No. But that's what I'm saying. I've learned you're
way more accomplished. You made way more money than Lamar Odom.
Okay, well. This is not a diss. The more accomplished you are, the more professional you become, right? what has he done
Man,
outside of basketball?
But it goes, listen, I've interviewed Smush Parker. He didn't have a huge NBA career. I did Daryl Strawberry, who had a serious drug problem, a serious cocaine problem.
But did you deal with him then?
No, I'm dealing with him now.
Yeah, okay. See,
and he's been clean for a while. But I'm just saying, man, I've literally done at least 100 professional athletes, and Lamar is the only one that's consistently pulled this dumb shit.
And his off the court success is the same way.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is that you
almost died in a brothel.
No, I'm just saying that most athletes, when they're done, the new generation is going to be fine, right? They're learning how to be businessmen while they're playing, right? Right now, it's trying to, when we're done, what do we want to do? All right, we have to be here at these times. Like, my cousin's my assistant. And there's sometimes like, yo, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And I'm sitting on the couch like, oh, man, I don't want to do that shit, right? But for the most part, we have to learn how to be a business ourselves. You've been a businessman for a long time.
Yeah.
You've dealt with professionals a long time.
Yeah.
He's still an amateur at the job you're doing.
Okay.
Right. And that's the thing, because I've been in there. So I'm understanding that other people's time is important.
It's the most important thing that anybody could have. Time is the most important aspect of anyone's life, because you can never get it back.
Not athletes.
You can make more money. You can get another girl. You can get another job. You can buy another house. The time that you've wasted, which I've wasted now on 3 occasions with Lamar Odom. That's his new name, Lamar Odom, because he's lame. I can't get back.
See, what's so funny is the first structure he's going to have is this podcast. Now, because
I don't see this working, because I don't see him even showing up.
But see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that he's going to have to be scheduled to do all the time. He's going to be successful at it.
Okay.
Here's why. In the NBA, structure is what we know, something that demands us to be there exactly at the same time all the time, right? So now...
Was he successful at the big 3?
No.
And did not have structure?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
there
you go.
But
I'm just saying.
But he gets to go here for 2 hours and then just talk and just it's therapy.
Okay.
He might.
I don't know. I don't know Caitlyn
Give
Jenner
him another.
either.
Listen.
I don't know. I remember at one point Lamar was photoed cuddling up with a transgender girl. So, you know what I mean?
2025, go back to him. He'll probably be more professional.
We'll see. I don't have any plans to interview him again. I've wasted enough of my time and money at this point. Recently on social media, there was this like trend of people disrespecting 90s NBA players. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. We're done with the 90s.
Yeah, so for example, like they say Jordan wouldn't be able to play in today's game. He had no left hand, everything else like that. How do you take that, coming from that era to a certain degree?
I'm 2000.
After that era.
I'm 2000s.
Right, but I'm saying, but you were playing with the players of that era as they were getting older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I'm on both sides of it, right?
Okay.
And, yeah, okay, the moves that the 90s did, of course, can't compare. Of course. I don't like when people try to just take clips and then make arguments off of clips, right? So when they say Jordan don't have a left hand because Isaiah said he didn't have a left hand, Kenny Smith said he didn't have a left hand, and most of the game plans that were said, he didn't have a left hand. Now, if you actually take the words of what they're saying, Kenny Smith in college, right? Jordan have a left hand, okay? So he's talking about 83, 82, 84, right? Okay. When Isaiah said, this is our plan against Jordan, okay, so he's talking about 85, 86, 87, 88, around that time, right? Because Isaiah was done in 91, 92. So that Jordan, 93, I think, is when Isaiah was done. So the Jordan that they're highlighting, that's not the same. So when someone says, yeah, Jordan had a left hand, look, they're using highlights after 92 on, right? So it's like, listen, he didn't have a left hand then. He got his left hand, and then he became who he became.
Right.
That's how that works, right? It's dumb arguing, because who wins? How do you prove it? Right? I'm starting to just dislike the older media, because now I realize everything they've done. what they've done is not real journalism. What they've done is compared. Oh, Jordan will do this, in this era, and that's why he's the greatest. Now you just ask, how can you prove that? Oh, the metrics in it, fake. Oh, we can do fake. You can't, right? So everything is fucking fake, and I'm done arguing about something you can't prove. Well, if Larry Bird had Michael Jordan jumping ability, he'd be the best ever. How the fuck can you prove that? You can't. Shut up. I'm never gonna waste my brain cells. Shaq plays in the 80s, and if he played in the 2000s, he'd be dominated because you're gonna have to shift the. I'm not fucking dealing in fantasy world anymore. And that's what it all is. All of it is fantasy talk. And people are claiming wins on something that they can't even prove.
Well, I interviewed Rex Chapman,
Mm-hmm.
the NBA player
Mm-hmm.
who was friends
Charlotte.
with Jordan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly, Charlotte. And what he said was interesting, which I never really thought about, where he says the one thing that people don't really talk about with Jordan is how obscenely huge his hands are. You and Michael Jordan were continuing your relationship. And one of the things that you mentioned, which I haven't heard before, was that people don't mention with Jordan is his hands.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why.
He has huge, huge hands.
Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't lead every conversation about him. It's the most, it's the most unique thing ever. Playing basketball, look, I always say this, if a shot goes up and it glances off the rim and it's going toward the corner and 5 of you guys are going after it, 4 of you are definitely going after it with 2 hands because the ball's going away from you. You got it. If you can, as the ball's going away from you, reach out and grab it with one hand and suck it back all in one motion and be gone the other direction, you're playing an entirely different game. Michael picked the ball up off the floor and grabbed it, dunks it like it's a grapefruit. The ball is like a grapefruit in his hand, not a basketball, not a volleyball. It's almost like a grapefruit, softball maybe. It's that big. And the fact that he was able to become a shooter, his first few years when I played against him, he couldn't shoot. Like, I don't mean that. Like, that was what you allowed him to do because he could do everything else. You made him shoot. And he'd still get by you. But that he was able to hone in later on and become a great shooter is one of the most amazing things ever. Try shooting a softball sometimes and see how that feels because it's weird.
Kawhi type hands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where basically he could catch a rebound off the backboard and just grab it like a grapefruit and just make it change direction. Like most players would just try to, tip it or something. He could actually grab the entire ball in the air and change the whole trajectory of the ball. Like you have big hands.
Mm-hmm.
Are his hands way bigger than yours?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
So can you palm a basketball and his hands are way bigger than yours?
Way bigger than mine. That's an advantage.
It's a huge advantage.
Like, this is how when people ask me, like, will Jordan compete in today's games? And I say, listen, for the most part, all greats can compete in any era. That's what makes them greats, right? That's what makes them greats, right? You talk about Kareem, yes, with the technology today, and he has to change his attributes, unless it's just a defensive player, but a guy who has a skill, right? Yes, he will be effective. He will learn how to be effective, right? Now, the only people that will have trouble adjusting is the one-trick ponies, meaning they're only good at this one thing. Like, oh, he can only rebound. Well, yeah, it'd be hard for him to translate in today's game because we're not one-trick ponies anymore. Most of these guys have 4 or 5 skills that they're, we're looking for the guys now that can score, shoot, pass, rebound, steal the ball, deflect the ball. Those are the type of guys that are being put into today's game. So for the most part, all the greats, they can transition through it, especially if you use new technology to enhance their. But Jordan's hands was really big. Dr. J's hands was really big.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard's hands are big, and that's usually keys.
Yeah.
Get your hands on loose balls, or they give you a slight advantage. Now with his jumping ability, his fast twitch muscles, his mind.
Oh yeah, no.
That's the biggest this is the most important thing.
Everyone always said, including Rex Chapman, that his level of wanting to win, competitiveness, is like nothing he's ever seen. He will play you, remember he got busted for betting on golf games.
Yeah.
I interviewed the guy who he got busted with.
Yeah. He wants to win at everything.
He wants to win. If he's flipping coins with a security guard, he wants that dollar that he just won. He'll sit there and wait for it.
You know what? Now this is like it's a weird bold take.
Okay, I'm ready for this. Let me grab my popcorn.
Mine's, you know how they say
You played with Jordan.
No, played against him, but played with him in Jordan camp.
In Jordan camp.
So
okay, yeah, because he was leaving as you were coming in. Okay,
yeah. So I studied those type of minds, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how they say they're winners, right? They win. Their win is individual success, right? These minds are individual success. It's me. It's my determination, and they have to have someone behind them smart enough to understand how to put teams around the minds for them to be winners in life. Because think about when you're saying gambling on golf, that's individual. Gambling, when you hear about Jordan gambling, right, it's individual things that he can win because it's just his work ethic. Where you compromise him is when you add more pieces around that he can't control them. He can't put my brain, you need to work out. So what happens is someone has to be smart enough behind these men to give them the right type of players for their ability to be shown in a team sport. Right? Because the minds are selfish individually people. It's them. It's their success. It's their winning. It's them. It's all I. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed Smush Parker, who played with Kobe. And I remember at one point he talked about how he just approached Kobe, just talked to him about like, oh, did you see the football game last night? And Kobe looked at him and said, you don't have the accolades to talk to me. And he walked away and they never spoke again.
Here it is, we're mid-season and, I'm the starting point guard at this time. Now it's starting to settle in. I think I'm here. I got it's past January 15th, and now I'm like, you know what? I made it. So the rest of the season is secure. I can kind of like breathe a little bit. You know what? I ain't talked to Kobe outside of just playing basketball. Let me say what's up. We sit next to each other every day in practice. Sit next to each other every day for the game. And the story has it. I tried to talk some small talk, and he shut it down.
Yeah, so you can't talk to me. You need more accolades under your belt before you come talk to me.
Those were his words.
But you guys are actually teammates.
Yes.
And you're actually a starter.
Yes.
So yeah, you don't have Kobe accolades, but you guys are on the same court at the same time.
Yeah.
When you heard him say that, how'd you feel?
I felt small, felt a little disrespected. I'm from New York City, so there's a level of respect that you show another man, and when there's a line that's crossed, you have to. Things happen after when that line gets crossed.
And then Kobe later on said that this is the worst teammate he's ever had. He shouldn't have even been in the NBA, but the team was too cheap to pay for a point guard.
Yeah.
And that really hurt his feelings, but Kobe didn't give a shit. Kobe's trying to win because Kobe's trying to win. He doesn't care whose feelings he hurts. And this is the whole thing. Like, we deify these athletes or these entertainers in general, but let's just talk about athletes. We feel that if you're great at a sport, you're this great person, which isn't necessarily true.
Which usually is never
It's
true.
usually the opposite.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
usually a really rotten person who has to be that way in order to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I've heard horror stories about Kobe. I remember I interviewed Sebastian Telfair, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said that he was like in the gym with Kobe. Kobe walked up to him and said, "You know why you're not going to beat me? You came here in a bus. I came here on a helicopter."
You lifting weights.
Okay.
And Kobe, like you can't, I never started a conversation with him. That's so funny. He just came over there. So I guess that was Smush's problem. You gotta wait till him come to you. But Kobe is like, man, you know how I know y'all can't guard me? So I'm like, how you know we can't guard you? He said, when the ball come in and it come hit my hand, I know y'all got here on a bus. I said, like, you know, every team comes on a bus. You can leave from the hotel. Every team, no matter who it is, he's on a bus. He said, I got here on a helicopter. I just got off a helicopter. You got off a bus. It's a bucket. And I'm sitting there just stuck. Like, I remember sharing that story with KD and Westbrook. And I remember KD looking at me like, I'm about to go ask Kobe, did he say this? And I'm sure he probably got an opportunity to ask him. But yeah, definitely, shout out to Kobe, man. That's a legacy we're gonna miss.
Which of course is ironic because at the end of the day he died unfortunately in a helicopter. But that was the way that Kobe would like talk to people that he felt wasn't at his level.
But it's not.
Try to get in their head.
Yes, but it's so knowing how his mind works. If he had that type of dislike for Smush, it was probably because of something like this. He probably randomly called Smush in the middle of the night, 2, 3, fucking 5 in the morning, and said, "Hey, yo, I'm training. Where you at?" Right? And Smush didn't come to the gym. Once Kobe realized getting better, working, you don't drop it. You don't drop whatever you're doing for this.
Yeah.
I don't respect you anymore.
Yeah. It's probably something like that. Yeah.
That's 1,000%. Right? Remember, Gasol from worldwide was the softest player that people can talk to, right? Oh, he's soft, he don't do this. Kobe's best friend. Because I'm pretty sure every time he called Gasol to work out, Gasol showed the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? Matt Barnes showed the fuck up. Meta War Peace showed the fuck up. Right? When you hear Trevor Ariza, hey, it's 3 a.m, what you doing? I'm about to go to sleep. Well, I'm about to come work out, come. Trevor said, all right, fuck it, man. I go sleep later. And look, him and Trevor's cool. So when he had like this thing against you, is because when he challenged you, when he put out a challenge, you didn't accept it. From there, he don't respect it.
Yeah. You're not on my team anymore.
Yeah,
you're just out of here.
Yeah, you're just wasting our time.
I mean, didn't he say the same thing about Shaq? That Shaq, he said, would have been great if he actually practiced more.
Yeah, those
something like that.
I mean, just how you look at someone like Lamar, right? It's no different.
Yeah, I don't respect him.
Yeah, I don't respect him. So no matter what he does,
don't care.
It don't care.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the same thing. I don't care about your greatness because your greatness is God-given, not work ethic. Right? Some men don't care about the results. They care about the process.
Yeah.
So I don't care you got 10 million views every fucking time you drop. What is your process? Are you putting the work in? Are you doing this and doing? That's what intrigues the Tom Brady's, the Mayweathers, those type of minds. Yeah. What is your process? Are you putting everything you had into it? I don't care if you lost. What the 24 hours were you working and doing this and doing that? If you did, you were a winner in my book.
Give me an example of a player who was just born with natural abilities, but never really worked at it and still got to a fairly high level.
90% of the NBA.
90%.
Yeah.
Who's the top player that you know of that never really put in the work and could have been on a Jordan, LeBron, Kobe level?
Okay, since he already hates me because I've already put it out there, I'll just keep going. I'll say Vince Carter.
Vince Carter.
Yeah.
So Vince Carter wasn't a hard worker.
I wouldn't say he was a hard worker. I wouldn't say he wasn't. because I was never in a locker room to see what's under the hood and how he's working. From someone who looks at greatness and look at attributes, right? I'm looking at your attributes, hands, arms, legs, jumping ability, fast twitch, how you move, how you. He should have been he should have been the next one, right? He had everything. He had the one-of-one Bugatti, right? Like you're looking at, oh my God, this is what's coming. Jumping ability, hands, arm, hang time, charisma, style. Like you've never seen anything like it. But he was a nice guy. So I think I call him lazy because it's my way of saying he was too nice. He cared.
I mean, there's also like a Charles Barkley who I heard would just, sit on the treadmill or be on a bike while everyone else is working out. You heard the stories about Allen Iverson not showing up to practice. I mean, he was a beast on the court, but he has no rings, and maybe if he had a different work ethic, maybe that would have been different. Hard to say.
This is a misconception of work ethic and working. We don't know what time players are working out, right? There's team, then there's individual, right? Team practice is for the team. No superstar gets anything out of team practice, right? When you watch basketball, right?
Yeah.
You watch James Harden?
Yeah.
You watch Luka?
Yeah.
You think they spend 2 hours of Luka in practice, sitting there, pick and rolling, and doing what he's gonna do in the game? No, right?
He's doing that on his own.
Yeah, so they're doing a whole bunch of shit Luka's not even gonna attempt. He's not running them fucking plays that you're working on for 2 hours. He's not running those in a game when the game is on the line, right? So the practice itself is just more of a structured thing. So you can hold practice without your superstar because your superstar is vetoing all that shit when a game card. You sitting here trying to do drop plays for our 5-man, and he's playing against Embiid. We're not giving him the fucking ball today, right? So we don't know what time Allen Iverson's practicing on his own, but I can tell you this, he wasn't that damn good not practicing. No, trust me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I went to the Clippers-Sacramento Kings game, when was this? This was back in February. And, I mean, the Clippers are stacked, and they got their ass handed to them.
It happens.
I mean, Harden missed so many 3-pointers that it was almost embarrassing.
Those are days.
Yeah.
Those are days, but,
And he looked kind of heavy. He looked a little overweight. I know he was never really all that lean, but he looked a little extra.
Now, that's a misconception, too. You tell him to take his jersey off and them pads off, you'd be like, oh my God, fucking six-pack, he's ripped.
He's ripped.
Yeah. So for the most
Maybe
part,
I'm wrong.
Like
Maybe I'm wrong.
Dwayne Wade, he had like damn near 8 to 15 pounds of extra armor on. Right? So some of these guys, because how they play, they get hit a lot. So they'll have thigh pads, they'll have rib pads. So some of that is just protection, rib protection.
Okay.
That
Fair
looks
enough.
like he's a little bit heavier.
You know better than me. I'm not going to argue with a professional player.
Guys like them, that are expert at certain things, those guys, they work all day.
We talked about this on your show. Draymond Green, who was, at one point suspended indefinitely for that wild swing that he took. He just got ejected again the other night. At one point, he threatened to stab Paul George. Did you see that?
No.
You didn't see that?
Wait, is that?
He did a little stabbing motion. You didn't see that?
Oh, that's what y'all. Oh, that's.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of looked like he was threatening to stab him.
No,
who does that?
No, that wasn't the stabbing, but that wasn't that kind of stabbing.
I mean, like, he would have been perfect for the Detroit Bad Boys. Perfect.
Oh, you don't realize that's his whole life is Detroit Bad Boys.
Oh, that's his idol right there?
If you look at his birth date and just track it back, after Detroit Bad Boys won the first championship, he was conceived. So they must have been celebrating after they won that first championship, his parents. So he is a bona fide Detroit Pistons bad boy baby.
Okay.
Right?
There you go.
And then he was in the locker room with Rasheed Wallace and them, right? That's him. Right? He is the guy who plays with heart, soul, which when people complain, I will say you'll rather pay him than play the guys who really don't care. They're just there for the check. He's not here for your check.
No, he's really playing.
He's here for the game. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to throw dirt on a guy who I know. But I'm just saying,
we're not
I know.
throwing dirt on him at all. I mean, in fact, even Steph Curry said that we need him on the team.
No. He's the most important part. There's just some guys. He has so much passion in the game that he can't turn it off. He can't. When it has to do with the game, he can't turn it off. That's all. That's all it is. It's the same thing with KG. You ever listen to KG talk? When he starts talking about basketball, his personality comes out.
He's ruthless.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
he diss his own teammates and everything else like that. Because I remember I interviewed Big Baby, and he said, I think Big Baby, like in the beginning, was like, "Yeah, man, I'm just trying to show you my swag." And KG was like, "Man, fuck your swag."
Yeah.
He's like, my feelings were hurt.
It is his teammate.
This is my teammate. I'm just a role player. Like, this is a superstar of the team. He literally hurt my feelings.
Like just there's just some type of guys, players that when it has to do with the sport itself, they can't turn it off.
Gary Payton's another one.
Yeah, even when they're talking about it, you can see him get amped up and ready to go. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, Charles Oakley. There's a long list of these guys.
Those guys, you gotta put them fuckers in like cooking class. Like so Oakley's cooking.
Oh, he has a cooking show?
Yeah, he cooks.
Okay.
That makes sense though. Because it's the opposite of when he's playing. When he's playing, this is who he is. When he's not playing, he turns it all the way down, and cooking is probably it's probably his therapy.
Now, I've interviewed Oakley before, and in fact, I even brought up an instance that he definitely did not remember at the time, but it was the Jordan All-Star party they have every year, right? The big Jordan party during the All-Star game. And I have a friend that's one of the vice presidents of Jordan, so he puts me on the list whenever I want to go. So me and my man, we're on the list, and we're walking in, and we're walking in behind Charles Oakley, and I guess he thought that we were trying to sneak in with him, behind him, and he turned around, and he took that giant hand of his, he got those big Jordan hands, and he stuck it on my chest like, "Yo, man, don't try to play me like that." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, "Man, don't play me like that." And he's like getting angry, and I'm like, I mean, this guy's like 7 foot tall, and, I'm just got to sit here with this man's hand on my chest until he turns around and walks away, which he ultimately did. And I remember when I brought it up to him in the interview, he goes, "Yeah, man, I just try to kind of keep law and order." Like, I think he was just he does his usual kind of enforcer thing. And he was doing it at the party.
Yeah, no.
Thinking that he was enforcing the Jordan party the way he used to play with Jordan. He would kind of protect him in the same type of way. So I think he was just kind of being Charles Oakley.
When he's
we laughed about it. I don't care. I thought it was actually kind of funny in retrospect. But at the moment, I'm like, yo, I'm actually getting into it right now with Charles Oakley for something I didn't even do.
When he's coaching and all that stuff, he has the same intensity. So,
yeah.
It's one of those things is his passion is the very opposite. It's cooking. And like I started cooking, I'm like, oh, this shit is kind of therapeutic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like with Draymond, I want to see what he does when he's done. Podcast might be just his thing, but I want to know what he does to what is the yin of the yang.
I talked about Rex Chapman because I just recently interviewed him, and I read his book before the interview. And my favorite part of the book was this moment, right? Because remember when he played for Charlotte, his teammates were Muggsy Bogues and Del Curry, Steph Curry's dad.
Yeah.
And he said at the time, Del and his wife just had a baby Steph. So when they would go to dinner, he would babysit Steph, and they would travel together and everything else like that. And he was saying there was this one moment, right? It was him, Del, and Muggsy, and baby Steph in the baby seat, and they were all driving together, and they were talking about how great players they are, not realizing the best player of them all is in the baby seat right there next to him. That was better than all of them put together. And no one is realizing it, of course, at this time, but the very best player is in the baby seat.
That's funny.
And these are 3 professional athletes talking about each other's accomplishments, not knowing they're nothing compared to this baby.
So
what this baby's about to do in a few years.
That's crazy. That's funny.
Yeah, man. Little moment that I got out of that interview. Well, you interviewed Dwight Howard.
Mm-hmm.
And Dwight had, since our last interview, a very interesting lawsuit.
Uh-huh.
Did you guys talk about that at all?
No.
No.
The reason is this. When it comes to teammates, right? You have to respect the process of whatever they're going through, right? So it's not my job to push the envelope on trying to figure out if it's true or not. You know, as a teammate, when you decide that you're comfortable saying whatever you're gonna say, then I'm here. Other than that, that's your thing.
Yeah. I mean, I interviewed his baby mother, Royce Reed, and she told a bunch of very interesting stories.
I'm sure.
About parties with every pronoun in attendance. And listen, my man, Coach PR, that books a lot of interviews for us. He did an interview with him, and he asked him flat out if he was gay, and he didn't really answer the question. I think there's ever a time to be gay. It's right now. Seriously. Like, I feel like everyone will call you brave, and you'll have a whole community behind you, and no one will say anything negative and so forth. And you'll get new business opportunities and everything else like that. If you gay, you gay. But
I think stuff like that is, I guess most people that are if they're on the down low, they want to come out on their own, not be forced. Who knows?
Yeah, but when so much starts to come out.
But it don't mean you're mentally ready for it.
No, that's true. Now listen, sexuality is a personal thing. I'm into women. Other people are into men. Some people are into trans. Not my thing, but if that's your thing, man. Unfortunately, as a public figure, it becomes very hard. Because it's not like you're by yourself doing these activities. You're doing with other people, and those people usually are not at a financial level that you're in. And they'll sometimes come back and try to get some money out of you. And if you don't pay them, or if you stop paying them,
they out you.
It's almost better to get in front of it. I remember, like, for example, Barack Obama. What? What's the what?
Did you catch that? Get in front of it.
Get in front of it. No Diddy. Sorry.
I just thought that was just funny.
No Diddy. Yeah. Like, for example, like Barack Obama, before he ran for president, he wrote a book about his life, and he talked about doing cocaine in college.
Mm-hmm.
So cocaine was never a gotcha when he was running, because it's like, yeah, I did cocaine. You read my book. Here it is.
Yep.
There you go. I wrote in my book. Did all the cocaine and get my hands on. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, but that's not usually how it happens. It's always someone that forced you, and then so you're never in front of it because someone forced you to do it, right? So, and that's why with the saucy thing, people are like, "Oh my God, you're gay." I'm sure down low men don't make fun of anything there. It's an NBA. It's a sports thing, right? Like, the person who is down low in a locker room is usually the most serious, strongest, angriest, right? Because a down low man don't play with gay stuff, right? Can't. Because everyone's gonna say you're gay if you're saying gay shit, right? Right? If you're messing around with it, like they think you're gay. So a down low man wouldn't play like that.
Do you know, without saying any names, of course, do you know, have you had gay teammates that just never came out the closet?
For the most part, anyone who was single mother, we called you gay. If you were soft, right? That's the problem, right? Because
turns into a joke.
Well, yeah, it becomes so what ends up happening is it's we think the opposite of what society thinks, right? So like if you have like me, Nick Young, and there's like 4 of us in a locker room and we're sitting here, we'll do this. We're trying to figure out who's gay. So we'll do stupid shit like, hey man, if we wasn't NBA players, would you have anal sex with a dude for 10 million? Right? Because we want to see who reacts, right? That is like, yo, shut your gay asses up. And we look at each other like, oh, we got one, right? And that's what we do. We got one. Now we're going to just target him to see. We're just going to keep poking to see if he's the one, right? Because if you're not gay, what the fuck you that angry for, dog? We're just sitting here fucking around and you over here all extra angry.
I can never be angry at gay questions because I'm not gay. No.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what we do. Whoever gets that angry about a fucking question, you gotta be gay. Yeah, you gotta be.
Now listen, I just interviewed was Birdman's half brother, Terrence Gangster Williams, and he did 28 years in prison. Mm-hmm. I talked to him about the gay stuff he's seen in prison. He goes, yeah, man, like a lot of dudes will try to trick dudes into doing gay shit with them. He'd be like, hey man, just jack me off. Your hand can't be gay. I'm like, yo, I never want to go to prison.
Your hand can't be
Your
gay.
Your hand can't be gay.
Okay. That's a new one. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. It's funny.
Well, you talked about how Kobe's parents are selling off some of his memorabilia, which honestly, when I heard about it, I didn't see any problem with it whatsoever. None whatsoever. Because Kobe got married very young, from what I understand, against the wishes of his parents. Mm-hmm. His wife and his parents were never all that cool. Mm-hmm. He pretty much didn't talk to his parents after that. Mm-hmm. Didn't give them a bunch of money. Because remember, they were supporting Vanessa's mother for a long time, mm-hmm. until he died. And then that became a problem. But he wasn't doing the same with his own family. So now that he's been gone a certain number of years, they don't have a lot of money, and they have this memorabilia. What's the big deal?
That's true, right? It's because it is Kobe's parents, so you don't know what Kobe was doing for them under Vanessa's nose, right? You don't know if he's sending them 20, 30 here, give to some parents, because
he was probably doing a little something, but he didn't put them up in mansions and was doing it like how the typical superstar NBA player does with his mother and father.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. True.
Right? Most superstars, I'm not talking about the guys who are trying to barely stay in the league. Mm-hmm. The superstar, like the Jordan's dad was balling out. Mm-hmm. He died in a brand new Lexus, which at the time was the hottest car you could possibly get. I interviewed LeVar Ball. He lives in a mega mansion and has a ton of cars, which I'm sure his sons have helped him out with.
Yeah.
But Kobe's family wasn't benefiting in that fashion. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's probably some under-the-table money here and there, but not like that. So now he's gone, and they're trying to scrape by. Were they even at his funeral? They didn't speak at his funeral.
I don't think they spoke.
They didn't speak at his funeral.
Because it was, you can see both sides from it. You can see Vanessa's standpoint, like, you don't want me to marry him. You're saying this about who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And then we get married. I'm pretty sure how she looks at you will not be in your favor, right? And now she's the wife. This is her husband. She has the say so now, right? So most of what was going to happen, it was going to be if there's no celebrations, there's no parties, she's making those. You can't see the kids. Yeah. She's making that call. Yeah. Right, and he's just there trying to just make sure
keep the peace.
Yeah, just keep the peace. Don't want to catch no strays. Right. So, the fact that they do have the memorabilia, they do have these things of their son, whatever, from high school, and the stuff that they gave him before he met you.
Well, no, they had because you could do replicas. When someone wins a championship ring, you can make replicas for your family and stuff like that. I think they're selling one of the replicas, right?
Yeah. Okay. So here it is with NBA rings, NBA championship rings, right? So there's players' rings, and
Yeah.
then there's family and friends.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So they got one of the family and friends. No?
Okay, so
they had the original?
the mother was gifted family and friends.
Right.
The father was gifted the exact ring that Kobe has. So that means Kobe ordered 2 identical rings, which will have Bryant on it, right? So that means, like, you know, if one cost, so like, let's say back then, those rings was 10,000. Family and friends, 2,500. So the ball boys and all of them. But the ones that come directly from the player, that only Kobe himself or Shaq for his parents can authorize. So he authorized the same exact ring. So basically, there's 2 rings with the Bryant name on it. Bryant has one, and his father has one. So the one that's going out is the one. So that means that ring damn near looks the same as Kobe's. It's the same as Kobe's, and it has the Bryant on it. Because you can't put first names, and you can't put nicknames.
So what, though?
So what?
So what? So what? His parents are probably, what, in their 70s at this point?
Yeah, Vanessa doesn't need to buy it because she has the one.
Yeah, she can buy it off them if it was really that big of a deal.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's
I
probably...
I don't see a problem, man.
There's probably stuff that they have that she can probably want if the kids want it. But I don't think she gives it.
I'm sure she has no shortage of Kobe memorabilia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think she gives
I don't think that there's, oh, damn, we ain't got nothing and they're selling this stuff. I don't think that this is that
the fact
kind
that
of
she hasn't
conversation.
made any comments is like...
Yeah, well, why is everyone else making a big deal out of it?
Because it's the thought. It's the thought. You're the father and the parent. You're giving your memorabilia to this person. And to their credit is when we die, it's gone anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like, you know, they're 70-something, so when they pass, who gets it? It just goes to auction?
To the kids, probably.
No, they don't have the relationship.
Yeah.
So it goes to auction. Someone buys it any fucking way.
Right. Now, I mean, you're famous for scoring 60 against Kobe, but you said that actually wasn't your best game against him.
No.
So when you scored 37.
37.
That's when your best game was. What made that game better in your eyes?
You can get the best of someone anytime, right? It's just the luck of the night for you. And I had to go on that night when I scored 60, right? So the cards was in my favor. As a competitor, it's like anything. He said he's going to shut me down. I'm not going to score 20. He's going to lock me up. They're going to game plan for me. So that game is the biggest threat, right? I'm on his radar. He's in kill mode. He is how Drake and J. Cole is right now, right? Like, I'm coming for you. And that's what that second game was. He's coming for me. Now, knowing him, he's looking for the competitor. Am I going to compete? He don't care about the results, right? If he held me to 20, was it 5 for 10? Or was it 5 for 27? Was it 5 for 30? Did you compete? And I think I was 10 for 30 that game, right? To him, it's like, okay, you didn't back down. You can't. I'm saying I'm coming to shut you down, and you're still firing, fighting to the death. And that's why I said that was the best game, because it was one of those times where the guy is basically saying he's coming in and shut me down, and I know what he means by that. He wants to see if I call it quits. So from the jump ball until I'm subbed out, am I fighting and clawing for my freedom?
What made Kobe different that game from other players that you played against?
Because he was the first one that put out the "I'm coming for you."
Oh,
he became boogeyman. Right? It's no different than when you know Jason's after you and he's walking and
slowly.
Yeah,
with a machete.
And that's what that was. It's he's coming. He said he's coming. He's coming. When he's warming up, he's giving me that look. Yeah, we're gonna see the day. You know, and it's because think about it. It's all about the fear.
Were you scared?
No.
Not at all.
No, because he's taught me don't be afraid. You're just a person. Like when someone said, like when someone told him, "Hey, don't look at Jordan in the eye." That don't look him in the eye. And the first thing Kobe does is, yeah, he doesn't look scary to me, right? And that's the thing, because now think about the person who told you don't look him in the eye. Do you think Kobe respected him? No. How are you afraid of another man?
Yeah.
How are you afraid of this? Yeah, he's the black cat. Cool. I'm not scared of Friday the 13th. Actually, I practice on Kobe. I practice on Friday the 13th. I love it. It's my birthday, right? And that's the type of mindset he was, right? There's only a few fucking people like that.
Yeah, I remember when I interviewed Evander Holyfield recently. He told me that he was fully aware that the way Tyson wins is that he scares you.
Mm-hmm.
You're scared to get in that ring with him.
Yep.
He has a fearsome reputation. He comes in with just a towel over his head. He stares at you. He talks about eating your children, whatever else. And Evander says straight up, he said, I had to show him that I was not scared of him. I had to show him that because I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And once he realized that, the fight was over, essentially.
No, serious.
And it happened twice. Even when he got bit, he was winning.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, depending on how you look at it, you could say that Tyson bit him because he knew he was going to lose and he just tried to get out of it somehow.
No, look, 95% of a scare tactic is I'm beating you before you even got here. So when you look at Tyson, right, black shoes, no socks, black trunks, just the color itself, danger, right? Like somebody walking out right now and they got black forces on.
Yeah.
Right? They're in demon mode, right? We already know the look.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's dressed in all black, right? And then he's coming in, he does all the little twitching of his muscles, right? Activating them. Yeah. And then he looks at you and he stares. He's waiting for you to break eye contact, right? To see if you're going to look down, look away. Because he knows once you do that,
yeah, he got you.
He got you.
Yeah.
So from there, once Holyfield shows he doesn't fear, now it's all on how Mike Tyson's got to come out real aggressive the first 1 minute to see if he can get him.
Yeah, and he can't.
And then once he realized, oh shit, this is about to be a fight.
It's about to be a real fight.
You now made him bleed mentally.
Yeah.
You made him bleed because everything he's done that leads him up to a win didn't work.
Yeah.
Now, fuck, I got to fight.
I'm not used to this.
Yeah.
I'm used to it 30 seconds and going home.
The whole rah. Hold me back. Oh, none of that shit work? Oh, shit. Now I got to actually try to punch.
Well, speaking of Tyson, Tyson, who's age 57 right now, is scheduled to fight Jake Paul, age 27, on July 20th on Netflix. Who you got?
I hope there's some stipulations into that clause. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that there's rules that protects Jake Paul. Because, yeah, he's 57. But is he? Is he really 57? Punching power? Is this punching power 57? No. Right? One, he probably hits 3 times harder than Jake Paul can possibly ever hit, right? I will hope Jake Paul is on some type of steroid. I will hope. Not to punch back Tyson, that shit ain't gonna work. I'm talking about to absorb some of this punching power Tyson has in his body, right? You're talking about a dude who probably hit like Mack Truck then, still hitting like a F-150 today. Jake Paul body is not built for what Tyson throws. So even an accidental punch by Mike Tyson will hurt this man. And that's what I'm afraid of. I don't give a shit if it's fixed. I'm not worrying about the problem is he is a professional he's a professional heavyweight champion, which means his reflexes is dangerous. I'm not afraid of I'm afraid of that. You hit him and it's just a natural reflex that he's been trained since he was little to do. That right there is the problem. If you watch the Roy Jones fight.
Yeah, I watch it.
If you really, now, we already know there were stipulations. You can't hit him in the face. You can't punch all the way through. You can't knock him out.
He hit him in the face.
But not punch through. He couldn't punch through.
No, I felt like in the end, Tyson was almost holding him up.
Yes. Yeah.
I felt he could have totally knocked out,
that's,
Roy Jones, but I felt like he almost had respect for him that he didn't just
but it was part of the
embarrass
clause.
him.
But as a part of the clause, you couldn't knock. Yeah,
Really?
you couldn't knock up. There was no. If there was blood, if there was any type of blood, a cut, fight's over.
Really?
And yeah.
Why? Just because they're older?
Yeah, but Roy Jones is not a heavyweight.
Well, yeah, he had to move up.
Yeah, he
well,
wasn't
he was just heavy. He didn't move up.
He wasn't a real heavyweight.
He was just out of shape.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So just something like that itself, right? If you look at it and watch the fight, Roy is a heavy body now, and you can see some of those hits. There was one where he hit Roy, it was just a reflex hit. He swung, ducked, and then hit it and snapped it, and Roy like, oh, and
Ooh,
just,
yeah.
I'm like,
I
oh
remember
man,
that.
that's the only thing I'm afraid of for Jake. It's Tyson's natural reflex that you got to worry about.
So you don't think that Jake has any chance of winning?
Without it being rigged, no.
Okay.
He don't punch. I don't give a fuck if he's 57. You don't think Roy hit harder than you? You don't think Roy hits harder than Jake Paul?
No, Roy was a beast.
No, what I'm
in
saying
his
is,
day.
think about
beast.
that Roy Jones fight. You think Jake Paul can hit harder than that Roy Jones did with Mike? No, Mike is.
I don't know though. Jake Paul is not a slouch. He's not just a YouTuber who put on gloves. I think he actually took the sport very seriously.
Now,
And,
recently,
listen, he lost his last fight. The Tommy Fury fight, he lost.
And are you saying was Tommy Fury a hard hitting guy who hit hard and no, right? Right. So
He didn't hit like Tyson. Yeah.
yeah, and then all the fighters before that, the MMAs, they're not even naturally fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not naturally boxers.
Yeah, they're not
right?
punchers. Yeah.
So they're not used to protecting the face. They're used to
grabbing you.
as soon as they get hit, they lunge, right? Which, Jake Paul, if you look at him, you get hit, he's gonna haymake. That shit ain't working with Tyson, dog. And that's what I'm saying. I hope it's rigged. I hope it's rigged because you don't want to see a dude that gets hit and breaks a rib. Because that's the type of power that's coming. So I'm gonna watch it hoping that, it goes 12 rounds, 6 rounds, and it's a great show. Like, one thing that Jake Paul does is he fucking entertains.
Oh, yeah.
He's a fucking entertainer.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I just hope that he doesn't get hurt in this process because you don't know what you're going to get out of fucking Mike Tyson. Look, I don't give a fuck how much I pay Mike Tyson. Hey, look, Mike, we're going to go through 1 round. You can't knock me out. You can't do this. And here, I'm going to pay you. While I have those rules in, I still don't trust that motherfucker.
Listen, I interviewed Tyson, and at one point he got mad at me during the interview.
No, I say that.
Yeah, and it was scary.
You don't like.
I'll fully admit that I was scared. I had a pissed off Mike Tyson in a boxing ring with me. And I had to walk him off that anger.
Mm-hmm.
I had to walk him down.
Wordplay, just word.
I had to verbally calm him down. And I remember when I mentioned that to Holyfield, he goes, Tyson does that to people. He's like, I don't know why. He goes, he just tries to scare people.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I don't do that. Because honestly, Holyfield, although he's as big or even, he's bigger than Tyson, stronger, whatever else, he's a very gentle, nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
At no point, no matter, I asked him the hard questions. The rumors about the steroids, losing his entire house. I didn't softball this, this interview. And at no point did he get mad at me or threaten me or made me feel like I was in any level of danger.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a very nice person.
Like, it sounded like Tommy Fury, right? Just nice dudes.
Yeah, just
right?
a nice dude,
Mm-hmm.
man. But yeah, with Tyson, one wrong word and suddenly I had the old Tyson.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's what I said. That's who I'm afraid of.
And I felt that if I kept pushing him, he might have taken a swing at me. If I, because I remember I asked him, I said, why are you attracted to these street guys? Like, what do you mean attracted?
Yeah, see,
I've been like, I don't know, man. Are you gay? Like,
but that's
bam!
what it is. Yeah, see, that's what it is. You probably was talking about just why are you attracted to just danger, hanging out with the thugs.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes,
and
I
he's
know.
like, are you calling me gay?
Gay? Yeah,
and I'm
no.
like, no, I'm not calling you gay. No, really, Mike, I'm not. I'm not calling you gay.
That's it.
Seriously. That's the last thing on my mind. Last thing on my mind, Mike.
Yeah, that's there you go. Right?
Well, speaking of rigged matches, since our last interview, I interviewed Tim Donaghy, the NBA ref, who got caught betting on his own games.
Mm-hmm.
And what he said was interesting. He said that, although he got caught for what he got caught for, he said that during games, he'd get word from the top of the NBA to not do certain calls on superstar players like Kobe. He'd basically be like, listen, these people pay a lot of money to be on these floor seats. They're not here to see their favorite players sit on the bench.
Yeah.
So just don't call certain things and let the Kobes play, on the court.
Yeah.
Specifically, at certain times, the NBA was favoring Kobe. So what kind of message would they tell the refs in terms of, make sure you call every foul and make sure that he's always, there to shoot extra points and so forth? How clear was the message coming from the NBA to the refs?
It was very clear. I'll never forget when Kobe was in a playoff series with the Phoenix Suns, and I forget who the defender was, but they called him the Kobe Stopper, or he referred to himself as the Kobe Stopper. And they would show us video of games previously of plays that fouls weren't called, of this guy holding him or defending him too strongly, and they wanted freedom of movement because they wanted higher scoring in these games. So they would show you plays and say, this was a foul that was missed, and these three referees missed this play. Make sure you don't let this happen tonight. Make sure you call this when this happens. And that's how they would program and train the officials in the next game to have more freedom of movement and have Kobe Bryant have the ability to score more points and do well.
So they're basically telling you to give Kobe an advantage and people that were covering him a disadvantage in a way.
Exactly. I remember the guy's name. His name was Raja Bell, very good defender in the league, and a guy that would defend Kobe very well. And they would just show you a lot of plays of him defensively and saying these plays should have been called a foul, and they weren't. And these referees had a low score officiating-wise because they missed this call. So make sure you call it tonight. And you as an official wanted to get the highest grade possible because that would mean you would advance up the ladder and have more playoff games and make more money. So you would go out and call it.
I mean, did that sort of bother you in a way? Because, this is sort of point fixing to a certain degree, if you really think about it. Coming from, the top of the NBA.
Did it bother me? No, because, you wanted to do the best job you could do, and you were going to go out and do what any employer would tell you to do. And you wanted to progress up that ladder and be one of those officials that refereed the NBA Finals. So you went out and did whatever they told you to do. And in their mind, they were telling you it's what's good for the game because it's going to open this up. Nobody wants to come to an NBA arena and see a game of 85-80. They want to see a flow of it going up and down the floor, lots of points being scored, and a guy like Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or one of the stars in the NBA, putting in 35 points and flying up and down the floor.
Have you seen this?
You know what the NBA is?
A business?
It's entertainment, right? So it's entertainment first. So you have to think of it like that. They're in the business of entertaining, not the business of basketball, right? So, I want my entertainers to be on the court entertaining, not sitting on the sideline because you want to fucking blow your whistle all fucking day, right? Well, he's fouling. I don't give a shit what he's doing. They came to see him play. They didn't come to see him drink fucking Gatorade or water.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever you have to do, look the other way so everyone can be happy here. And that's That's the truth, right? There's things that Kobe's gonna get away with that I couldn't get away with, right? There's fouls that, because it looked good and I went close to it, and one, crowd, woo, because it all looked amazing at that time, right? You sitting here dunking and jumping. I always ask refs, I said, when someone goes up and dunks on someone, boom, and the ball goes in, why do you call a charge? It was like, because it's a charge. Do you not know what entertainment is? Who gives a fuck about the charge? He jumped over the man and dunked it. Close your eyes if you have to, and let's go the other fucking way. Take the ball out, or call the and one, dunk it, boom, and one. Why? Sports Center. The fans is going crazy. Happened. The guy who made the dunk, he's gonna go amped up, right? Yeah, it's all part of the bits. That's what I would be telling the refs. All dunks that are charged, but it went in, either you let it go or you call the fucking and one to give that extra. This is killjoy. That's killjoy.
Yeah.
It don't get played on Sports Center like that because it's a turnover. The guy is not happy about it. The fans is disappointed. You done took the whole vibe out of it, right? Enhance the moment. The and one, the blocking foul, you get to be animated. The crowd is fucking jumping. This guy's doing this. It's, you know what I mean? Those are like little things that I look at when I watch the game because it is entertainment.
Well, I mean, you interviewed Rasheed Wallace, who's been ejected more than any other player. And I believe Tim and Rasheed actually got into it at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rasheed tried to fight him at one point, and
yeah, because he felt he was cheating.
Felt he was cheating, which he was.
Because I think when Donahue got caught, I think something happened with Rasheed, and he got paid back some of his fines.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what he said was actually kind of interesting. He said, and I remember I researched this as well. Like when they went through all the games and everything else like that, when the FBI investigation was happening, they didn't really see him essentially calling certain fouls in order to benefit his own bets. But what he said, which was interesting, is that he knew ahead of time who the refs were for a certain game, and he knew who the refs didn't like. And based on that information, he had just an obscenely high percentage of winning because he knew that refs a lot of times will make the game, especially when not the game, but the spread.
Mm-hmm.
If it's down to a point or two and he knows that this ref doesn't like Iverson, which at one point all the refs essentially kind of banded against Iverson to the point where Iverson's like, all right, is that enough? Did y'all get your revenge at this point? They're like, yeah, we got it. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? That he essentially started just winning at a 70, 80% percentile. And they changed the laws after that. After he got caught, they changed laws where they basically, you didn't know who the refs were for certain games until right before.
Listen, point spread, he will have to go to the games and tell us which games he did. Has he ever done that?
I mean, they went through the whole system.
Is it public?
Yeah.
Which games?
Yeah.
And they have the spread and the
all that
point,
all that,
over under. See, I would like.
I mean, he went to prison for it.
No, what I'm
the
saying
other day he got caught.
I mean, is it public for everyone?
Yeah.
Because I would like to look at it, and then I can tell you exactly what he was cheating on.
Okay.
Because what happens is a point spread is hard, very hard. It's easy if you can. Let's say this is let's say who's playing? Let's say Lakers versus Philadelphia, right? Lakers supposed to win by 10. That spread, it's easy to keep it under 10, right? That's pretty easy, right? A little layup here that miss, and you're looking at the spread, boom, you call a foul, give him 2 free throws, right? You can do that. LeBron goes in there, hits someone and scores it, fucking offensive foul, take away those 2 points. Pretty easy. When it comes to like the three and under, that's going to be difficult because you can't account for guys just making shots out of your control. Someone step back 3, right? You can't, that's fucking hard, right? Oh, call it off. Oh, travel. It's hard to do that,
Yeah,
right? You start
exactly.
looking goofy. Easiest thing to do is over under, right? You know, if the game's supposed to be 215 and all the money is on the over, it's easy to fix that.
Yeah.
Right? Because now you're playing to the stars. Now you're playing to the stars. Them Luka, step back. It looked like he got hit. Foul, 3 shots, right? Stop the clock, get the points. It's easy to hit that over. So I want to see if he was doing it more on spreads or more on over-unders.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I interviewed Pete Rose, who also got caught gambling. And essentially, he was betting on his own team. But what they said was, at the time, he wasn't a player, he was a general manager. And they were saying that that was just a very dangerous position because he could switch players up.
No, facts.
And essentially make the spread extremely easily. Okay, I know this guy's about to hit a home run. We just won't put him up a bat.
Yeah.
And I'll win.
Was he betting for his team or against his team?
He said he always bet for his team. Some other information came out that didn't quite coincide with it. At the end of the day, he's the hit king. He's had more hits than anyone in the history of baseball. And he's not in the Hall of Fame because of that.
Well, he's not in the Hall of Fame because he was betting on...
Yes, he's been banned from the sport.
He's been betting on his team after he was done playing?
No, while he was a general manager.
Well, he's not playing, though.
He's not playing, but he's on the team.
As a general manager?
As a general manager.
No, what I'm saying is, what is his baseball career...
Yeah, listen,
his baseball career don't have nothing to do with his general manager.
I feel you. I think that it's a message, but then again, a lot of players in baseball, you know, like
so what's worse,
the Mark McGuires, the Jose Cansecos, we'll see whether A-Rod's not in the Hall of Fame, is he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of players who have like the steroids associated with them. I know it's a little different, but the thing is, I think when it comes to these types of prestigious things, if there's asterisk by your name, they'd rather just not have you in there at all.
But the problem is, this is the problem with all of it.
Barry Bonds?
We don't know who was on it. These are the people who got caught.
Yeah.
But if this guy just got into the NFL or the baseball and he's doing it, who introduced him to it? Who introduced him to it? Who introduced that person, that person. So if there was franchise, if I'm going to the Texans and they're helping me do it, you gotta question every fucking player who's ever played on this organization.
Do you know players that do you know teammates that you for sure knew they were taking steroids? I'm not going to ask you to name any names.
Listen, I came in, and this is the big debate about the LeBron thing, right? And I remember putting this question out. It was a question, and I said, you want to, because someone said LeBron did it, right? Or he might be on it because his wife and this. Well, the FBI said LeBron wasn't on it. He was clear.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you want to think now. The FBI said he's clear. So what you want to insinuate has no merit now because the feds, when they did their thing, he was clear.
Right.
Period. Right? I know today NBA players go through 4 tests. Since 2004, they go through 4 random tests during the year.
Okay.
Right? 4 random tests during a year. My question was this. We don't know what the 90s and the 80s players was doing because there was only one test.
Okay.
October 1st.
So
everyone got tested October 1st. That means October 2nd. If you wanted to inject into your ass,
you got a whole year to get out your
You got
system.
a whole year to do it wherever you want. So we can if you want to insinuate a dude who got probed by the FBI and have 4 tests now is on it, then how are you not looking into the 90s or the 80s when they played all 82 games with no medical staff, no ankle injuries? These motherfuckers even catch flus, all of them with bald-headed by the age of 25. So we're gonna pretend. we're gonna pretend this part of history.
Yeah, and that's a steroid thing also.
Yeah, but we're gonna pretend in the 90s and 80s that these wasn't the most bald-headed 25-year-olds that we ever see. They didn't all look like Rambo fucking 2 then, right? In the middle of steroid crisis in every sport. Just somehow NBA was cool. 80s, right? Cocaine era. NBA players are getting caught, but the FBI is fucking probing these dudes for gambling and stuff, but they didn't get busted on their test because they only got tested once a year. So if they wanted to be on it, if I want to be a player and I want to be on steroids,
very easy to do.
I want to be 90s, not 2004, because 2004, they're going to test me fucking randomly 4 times and my fucking career's over with. I'd rather be on the 90s, October 1st, test me October 2nd. Let's go.
I congratulate Katt and Shannon Sharpe on doing a very big, impactful interview. I think it got more views than any other interview on YouTube. It beat out the Joe Rogan alien guy interview. You know what I'm saying? The alien expert that he interviewed. And, you know, it just kind of goes to show that when you look at the most impactful things on the internet, conspiracy theory will just trump everything.
Yeah, because it's intriguing.
Right.
Yeah. It's
you know, an alien expert saying a bunch of fantastical things that can't be proven or disproven. Hey, man, listen, I was on Charlemagne the other night. He said, yo, that's my favorite shit. Your Stephen Greer interview, yo, I watched every second of it. I want to interview him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is Charlemagne, who never interviewed him. He said, I love this stuff. I've been into the alien stuff since I was a kid. And the stuff that Katt Williams was saying about churning down $50 million and Harvey Weinstein wanted to give him head and Michael Blackson having a fake accent and Earthquake can't read and all this fantastical conspiracy crazy stuff, and all his fans are like, if you deny it, that's because you're the gay one and you're you're being paid to hide this information. Who's paying you, Vlad? Listen, it makes for the most impactful, engaging stuff on the internet.
And I think that's what people didn't take out of it, right? They're taking it as all truth.
Right.
I watch it as entertainment.
Pure entertainment.
Pure entertainment.
Yeah.
He is an entertainer. That's what he is, right?
Yes.
He's an entertainer first, not a gossiper, right? When you look at Katt, he's entertaining first, gossip is the last, right? So if he knows he can throw a stinger at one of his enemies, he's gonna throw it in an entertaining way, knowing that they can't come back with it. And if they do come back, they look like some haters, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's what I looked at it. I was like, this is probably his best stand-up.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah,
it kind of was. And listen, like I had Faison Love on my show, and remember, Katt Williams called him a fat Faison liar.
Yeah.
And Faison, me and him talked about this, right? And I came from a level of expertise because, you know, I actually came from this world. Because one of the things that Katt said, yeah, you know, when I was younger, I was getting by stealing car stereos and selling them for $2,000. And me and Faison were like, okay, in the 80s and 90s, no one was buying a stolen car stereo for $2,000.
Yeah, right.
New stereos were like $400 or $500. That's the top of the line Alpine. Because I used to work at car stereo shops.
Yeah.
I used to sell big systems, like all the D-boys in the Bay Area and stuff like that. I used to sell these. A brand new one would cost $500. So you go buy a stolen one with the wires hanging out for $2,000? These numbers aren't adding up, Katt. I'm sorry.
But that's what
it sounds great.
But it
sounds fantastic. Oh wow, he was selling car stereos for $2,000, stolen ones. Wow,
but that's
so innovative.
But that's where it is. This is entertainment first, right? If you think first entertainment, then you're gonna always be successful.
Yes,
right. I know Diddy's going through it right now.
We're all entertained though.
What Lil Rod did
was entertaining.
Entertaining.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's a victim at the end. Well, I mean, shit, we don't know if there's a victim throughout, but the story itself, it's all entertaining. Pink Molly's, this person gets arrested, right? Like I remember. I remember.
50 says baby mother's a sex worker.
Yeah. And then he takes her to court.
He's a drug mule. Oh yeah,
this is the funniest shit. I mean,
Cuba Gooding Jr. is diddling people. Like this is fantastic.
For the rest of the world,
yes,
this is entertainment. Even though there's victims, there's kids involved being arrested. for the masses.
Yes.
We're highly entertained. And when you're trying to sell a product on either side of right now, right? I went to the liquor store and bought all the Ciroc that I can buy. What? At its cheapest. It's gonna be at its cheapest. Everyone's gonna cancel the Ciroc brand. Fucking it's still liquor. Hey, I'll buy it all and I'll put it in fucking other liquor bottles, right? But at this point in time right now,
it's on sale.
It's the cheapest thing going.
Seriously? Is this a real thing?
Probably.
Probably. Who knows?
But that's me doing like that's
Right.
that's how my mind is like.
Right.
Oh shit, he's in trouble.
Buy low.
Liquor, go buy low. Go buy low and sit on it.
Oh yeah, and of course, like I remember Luke did an interview on the We in Miami podcast where he said that all of Puffy's legal trouble started when he sued Diageo. Another conspiracy theory. They clearly were tied into the FBI and went to go get him. Who knows? Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't know if Luke would know this, but you know.
The trouble started when you're suing the people who are protecting you. That's always a thing, right? You know, you're suing the people who has. Remember, when things are happening around you, or not happening around you, you got in trouble here and it goes away. You don't know why that went away, right? Someone has their interest. Hey, hold on. I control that entity over there. Hey, the story you was gonna break, let it go. Just like you say, you protected this football player from this girl, right? That football player don't know you did that, right?
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
So there's other entities
right.
that has their hands on your career that you probably don't know of.
Right.
So when he says this person's this, you're racist, I sue you, all the ties that they has, they let go.
Yeah, you're on your own.
You're on your own. Okay, so all these
deal
people
deal with the fans on
let
your
go.
own,
Like
on your own
listen,
time.
I have ties with this brand. Hey, I'm not working with him anymore. They back up. So now you're exposed and didn't realize you was this exposed.
Terrence Howard recently, there's a story about him where he owes about $1 million in taxes. And I guess the Justice Department ended up suing him for it. So he had left some voicemails for the person. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. So basically he left these long like tirades on the voicemail of the woman who's kind of in charge of the whole tax evasion lawsuit. And he said, 400 years of forced labor, never receiving any compensation for it. Now you have the gall to try to prosecute and charge taxes to the descendants of a broken people that are responsible for causing the breakage. In truth, the entire United States should by default become the property of the descendants of slaves. But since you don't have the ability or the courage to do it, let's try us in court. We're going to bring you down. So basically he's saying because he's black, he shouldn't pay taxes.
Why can't he just say, bitch, I'm not paying taxes? Why are you throwing in slavery and all of this? Just single it. Just fuck using the group. No, this has something to do with you.
I mean, Wesley Snipes tried to use the same approach.
Yeah, of course.
To avoid paying, and that's how he ended up in prison.
Yeah, like it's I you feel sorry for, these actors and some of these artists. They're being taken advantage of when they're in the need of trying to look for jobs, trying to get jobs because they're signing, deals that doesn't help them in the long run, right? I heard Terry Crews say it. He's like, don't say yeah and really mean no.
Right, yeah, he was on Shay Shay.
Right, and that is a very powerful statement because that is the truth. You signed the contract.
Right.
You signed it. You wrote it. I know you didn't know this was going to be that big. It happened to be that big. You got paid $2,000 for it. You're this superstar riding around in a Corolla now, right? But everybody think you're a millionaire because you got in a fucking award because of it, right? You signed the contract, right? But now,
and you got
your
paid.
next contract, you get to demand more money because of this. So if your mind is still stuck on what you signed before, then you're fucked because we all got to do something for pennies to get to where we want to get to.
Always. You know how many free interviews I do, and I just did Pierce Morgan. You think I'm getting paid for that? I just did Drink Champs.
Mm-hmm.
I do Breakfast Club. I don't get paid for any of these. I didn't get flown out. I didn't get flued out.
Yeah.
But that's fine because I understand it's the strength of the it's a
brand.
big platform. I understand it'll help my brand and so forth. And here's the thing about business that annoys me that most people who aren't business people don't fully realize. There's been lots of times, even in my career, where let's just say I did an interview with somebody and I either paid them for the interview or sometimes they did it for free, for promo. And the interview does extremely well. And they'll come back after the fact and be like, hey man, I see you, this guy's this many million views. Why don't you break me off some? Or why don't you give me some more money?
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, no, that's not the agreement. And sometimes they'd get mad at me and diss me on the internet, whatever else. But here's the reality of how business works. There's lots of times like this, like for example, like a Terrence Howard or a Taraji P. Henson who talked about how, she only got paid $150,000 for Benjamin Button and so forth. You always hear about these stories, but have you ever heard a story where someone got paid to do some sort of job and the project ended up losing money? And the person said, something, I feel bad that your project lost money. Let me give you some of that money back that you paid me.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
I lost money on the Evander Holyfield interview. I lost money on the Dominique Wilkins interview because once you count the appearance fees and the production costs and stuff like that, and that's fine. I eat that. I would never, ever hit these guys up and say, hey, man, I didn't do too well. Can you kick me back some? No. They came in and they did their job.
Yep.
And they did it to their full capacity. They answered every question. They were professional. They were on time. They weren't Lamar Odom. You know what I'm saying? They were fully sober. I have absolutely no complaints. They're true professional gentlemen. And I would never, ever, ever, ever ask them for anything back because ultimately it's on me because I'm the one taking the risk and I'm the one paying the bills.
Yeah, every business is not, I think everyone goes into, when you don't run your own business or you're in that mindset, you don't know what's something that's on the right path to get more money or this is just one stop, right? So, sometimes you're going to take an L, but that L right today might generate money later on.
Exactly. And that's the thing. So you can't sit there and keep complaining that, they didn't pay me enough for this, but all the projects you did that lost money, like for example, The Color Purple is, last I checked, has lost $60 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure there was a bunch of films that Terrence Howard did that did poorly. And after you paid everyone, they lost money. He's not offering to kick back any amount of money. But people complain when something blows up and they got very little, but they negotiated that amount. They negotiated that. They agreed. They signed the contract. They did their job. And they got paid. Now, if they didn't get paid at all, I get it. Like, I was promised this and they only gave me this. No, they got paid. And you're right. I actually, me and Terry Crews have had our back and forth and stuff like that, but I completely agree with him. You can't say yes and then really mean no and be mad about it a year later.
Yeah, but that's why they're in the situations that they're in when it comes to, because they're bickering about it. And then there's other talent that really understands that I need these platforms to get to where I'm going to get to. Like
I was happy to do Drink Champs. Me and Nori had, our little issues for a bunch of years and we worked it out. And it was like, I'm going to come in and do it. And it was one of my favorite interviews. It got 1 million views. Do I get a piece of those 1 million views? No, nor would I ever ask for it. That's on him and Revolt and whoever else is, there's that big ad in the middle of it. That's all their money. I'm cool with that. I'm not tripping. I would never ask them for nothing. Now in the future, I might be like, hey, come do my platform.
Yeah, that's what I said. In the future.
In the future. And if he says no, okay, that's cool. I'm not tripping. It is what it is. Like we all do stuff for our own reasons. And to sit back and be bitter about it and feel like you got ripped off and, I'm going to need more because I see you're getting this.
Looking at other people's, like that's what I said.
I just don't like that. I just don't like that whole vibe because it doesn't go both ways.
But that's only a small group.
Yeah, but it's a loud group.
It's a loud group.
It's a loud group.
It's always the it's always a loud group because it's so little.
Yeah.
Right. So they have to speak louder. But just like anything, I remember Kevin Hart when he said, right when he was getting put on, right, and he was catching fire. People don't realize you can say whatever you want. Oh, he's an industry plant. We don't even know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, that's a make-believe term.
It's just make-believe, right? Right? I don't know what it means. Right? Yeah. He said this, my price was low. See, instead of using Kevin Hart, give me 20 million, I'm taking $1 million. $1.5 million to do these, because what I'm doing is opening up the audience for my special. See, people didn't realize I'm doing the movies for my specials. My specials is what I own 100%. So I'm doing Jumanji for cheap. I'm doing Ride Along for cheap. I'm doing this movie, Think Hard or Hard. What's the...
Yeah, the one with...
Will Ferrell,
yeah.
I'm doing them movies to push that audience, opening up the audience for my...
Get Hard.
Yeah. For my special.
No Diddy.
Right? So that's what I'm doing it for. I'm not trying to be a billionaire off of the movies. I'm trying to get these movies, put my name on all these so it can push me here because I own it. It's smart business.
Exactly.
Right? So if you're charging $5 million and he comes in and say, I'll do it for $1 million, who the fuck you think you're gonna go with? You're gonna go with the cheaper one. Yeah, I'll take him.
No one puts a gun to your head, because I remember when we looked at the Taraji P. Henson, Benjamin Bunn situation, she was like 4th on the call list.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember they gave her 150. She asked for 500, and they turned it down. Had a $150 million budget. So from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, this is so little. But from their point of view, they already got paid Brad Pitt, Cate Blanchett, big Hollywood stars.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Taraji. I think she's an incredible actress.
Yes, great.
But at the end of the day, she was lower on the call list, and if she said no, there was probably a list of people that were going to say yes, based on their budget.
Mm-hmm.
No hard feelings. But she did it. She got an Academy Award nomination for it. She killed the role, and I'm sure it brought in extra money from other roles.
Yeah.
And ultimately, look, man, I'm glad I do a lot of platforms for free, and people, doing Drink Champs brought me more interviews, and people hit me up who I haven't talked to in a while, like, yo, I want to come in and do some shit with you. I really got a different aspect of who you are. Like, people understand, like when you're successful, you do a lot of free shit.
Yeah.
You do a lot of free shit. I don't think you get paid, every interview you do and stuff like that.
I do, so I got Nightcap with Shannon Sharp on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? So right now there's 3 live sports shows on YouTube right now. It's Pat McAfee, and then Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah.
And then you have Shannon Sharp, which I'm on there too. So I'm on 2 of the 3, right? I'm only on once a week. So it's Ocho and Shannon. They started it. They added me in as a basketball, so I'm every Wednesday. I don't charge.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Because it was a good look for you.
I remember when they first said it, and Shannon wanted to start a new channel. And I was like, no, he can keep the same channel. I can come on Wednesday. Yeah. I don't want no prop. I don't want any of it. I just want to be attached, right? To build my channel, build my brand. Like everything is like just being associated with, because you are on Undisputed, right?
Yeah.
You are on First Take. You are legitimized. I'm still trying to make my reigns and my name. So there's nothing you can pay me that's gonna be worth put in a certified stamp. I'll take the certified stamp.
Relationship goes a long way.
Yeah.
Relationship goes a long way. Like I remember at one point, we had a John Sally interview. We just talked about how the NBA tries to get rid of older players.
Mm-hmm.
They try to push for the new generation, the John Morants and everything else like that, because the old players doesn't benefit. And they reached out to me, Stephen A. Smith's people reached out to me. They're like, hey, we want to use this clip on Shannon's show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, on his TV show? They're like, no, on his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, okay. If it was a TV show, it'd be one story. The YouTube channel doesn't really get a lot of views like that. So I'll tell you what, I'll let you guys use it, but I want him to call me, and I just want to establish a relationship with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, maybe he could be on my show at one point. If not, but whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just establish a level of
Right.
communication between us, and you guys can use the footage. Well, he's really busy right now. He's flying around. I'm like, well, then you guys can't use it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. I don't care about this YouTube channel. It doesn't get nearly the amount of views that my channel does. This is a favor that I'm going to do for you guys. But if you are too busy to establish a relationship, then why should I let you guys use my stuff for free? Because you're not offering to pay for it. So,
Did you DM him?
no.
Oh, you got to DM. Like I don't. You know what's so funny is I hate going through third parties because the third party job is to, it's their job to feel important, like they did it. I go right to the source. Like, hey, Steven, like he checks his DMs all the time.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's
Oh, deal.
he just DM like yo, Steven, like I want to be on First Take, and he'll say I'm coming to town. Like I've done an interview with him.
Yeah.
I met with some of the people that runs some of his behind the scenes, and trying to get a deal with him. So I DM.
Okay.
I'm not calling
All right,
somebody's.
fair enough. So maybe my
party,
approach
like-
was wrong. Maybe I should have just DM'd him and cut out the middle.
Yeah, I'm like
Right.
I'm like
but
a 70s
to me,
drunk.
my whole thing was like, you can't want to use my footage and feel you're too important to actually talk to me about
See,
using
but
my footage.
That's the third party, not the person. So the person didn't say anything. It's the third party that's doing it, right? Oh, he's flying and this and this. And like, well, he's flying. He fucking got internet. Hey, this is Gil. What's up?
Yeah, send me a text.
That's
I
what
don't
I do.
have to have a whole fucking hour-long powwow with them, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're in a similar business.
Mhm.
We all have our followings. We all make, a good amount of money. I don't look up to him. I look at him as an equal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you want to use something of mine, treat me like an equal.
You still do it. You still do it the old way. Go through like the publicists and all that. Fuck them people.
Yeah, man.
I go straight to the source.
I feel you.
It's social media now. You have a YouTube. Here's the fucking DM. You see the blue check.
Oh man.
Open it.
Let me tell you, and I've never mentioned this before. One of the worst business decisions I've made in recent memory was because I remember during the whole Key FED thing, a lot of people were reaching out to me for interviews. I did Piers Morgan for the first time. I was doing NBC News and ABC, and everyone, Breakfast Club reached out, and everyone, I was getting a lot of publicity, and just coming to me.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh, let me get with a PR agency. So I signed on to 5WPR
Mm-hmm.
because a friend of mine said, oh, this is, I know the owner, whatever else. I met with like the president or the assistant president, and she was like, oh yeah, no, we could definitely do all this for you, blah, blah. And it was like $10,000 a month. And I had to pay the first and the last month. I got absolutely nothing out of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him in the very beginning, I said, listen, I'm only interested in national media outlets. All the local shit I could do myself. I know all the hip hop people. I could do any of the hip hop shows with a phone call. I've already done a bunch of them. I could get this on my own. They're like, oh no, we could definitely get you that. Oh yeah, we'll definitely. Oh yeah, this is very likely, blah, blah, blah. A month and a half in, they got me like a Telemundo in Las Vegas. And like a local TV show in New York with Lisa Evers that I've done before.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that was it. And I was like, yo, like this is a total waste of money.
Yeah.
For all the people out there, these PR agencies will take your money and do nothing.
Yeah.
Like this was a horrible experience. And I managed to get out of it with only paying $20,000 instead of $40,000. Because I basically like, just get me out of the contract and just, I'm like, return the money that oh no, we're not going to return that. So everything I paid, they kept.
Yeah.
But at least I didn't have to pay the extra $20,000. So I basically was out $20,000 and got nothing out of it. That was my experience with 5WPR.
Telemundo.
They got me Telemundo in Las Vegas. Not even a national Telemundo. It was such a waste of time. I mean, and honestly, man, I feel like PR is like just a dead industry. It's a dead industry.
It's
Because you could DM anyone who wants to reach anyone could just DM.
and that's where it is. It's because of the DM, unless that PR got control of the DMs too, like Lamar's. But but for the most part, you can just directly just DM people.
You can just DM. Like if you feel that you have a strong enough story, or if someone wants to reach you, they can just reach you directly. They don't have to go through a PR agency. Like 5WPR was totally fucking useless. Totally fucking useless. And the fact that they actually took my money and said that they would do what they promised to do and they never did it was just such a fucking disappointment. And I'm never going to use PR ever again. And honestly, most of the PR people I talk to are just absolute fucking garbage people. just absolute people who want to feel important themselves, who basically send their clients to outlets that look good, that don't get any views. That, you know what I'm saying? Like the real bookings really happen between the actual people. Or sometimes their management, but usually the people themselves. Like I didn't go through a PR agency the first time I got you on here. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was just such a fucking disappointment. So 5WPR, man, y'all got my 20,000, but I'm gonna make that money back talking about your lame asses. Before I let you go, man, you're my hero for doing this. You talked about how you gave your girl a fake ring. A fake diamond ring, which I guess if it were real, it'd be like 400,000.
Yeah.
What is that? Like,
so I paid $395. I think like $395. Is it $395 or $495 for
what is
the
it,
real
like 15 carats or something?
It was up there. It had big stones. It was.
I mean, 400,000.
Diamond all the way around.
Yeah, you're talking about like 15, 20 carats. Like it's like a huge
it was big.
rock.
It was
with a massive, huge stone in the middle.
Yeah, there was a big stone in the middle, and then had 3 stones on the side, and then it was.
But the one in the middle is the one where that's where the money went.
Yeah.
So you end up getting a fake version of that.
Yes.
How much did that cost you?
$10,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it was like a good fake diamond.
Yeah. So what happened was, when the proposal happened, it was like, I think around her birthday.
Is this your kid's mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what ended up happening is we got in a fight 8 days later and broke up. And when we broke up, I'm like, that was a fucking waste of money. I want my ring back. So I was like, how do I get my ring back? Fuck it, I just got to get her back. But when she comes back, I'm going to have a fake one and I can switch it at any time. And then that's what I did. Had the fake one created and started, hey, missed you. Come on back and do all that stuff.
She came over with the ring.
No, just like later on. That's like, that's like months later, like 4 or 5 months later.
Okay.
And then,
and the whole thing was about the ring.
And then, and then played house.
So you played house for 4 months to get that $400,000 ring.
No, after it was 4 months, and then I had the ring, and then started playing house again. And then, but I never switched it. I just knew that I can switch it at any time. And then years later, and then I eventually switched it, put that one in the safe deposit, and then she just had the fake one.
And she never noticed. When did she find out that the ring was fake?
I think once we broke up and it was all said and done, and she started like really going at me in the media. Like when she started, like when we first broke up, I didn't do anything. It was like she was fine, nothing, no problems. And then I won like custody. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I guess one of her friends, one of the married women, was basically telling her that you need full custody. So you need to, he needs to be a danger. He needs to do this so you can put a restraining order on him. That whole little Hollywood bullshit. Yeah. So that's when the fight started happening. And then once that started happening, and then, me being a troll that I am, I took a picture, put the ring on it, and bop. And
you had the original ring.
Yeah, I had the original ring and posted it online.
You posted online.
Yeah.
And then what? She went to go check it out and realized.
Probably went to go check it out and probably realized she had the fake one. And then from there, a filing came in that I robbed her. And then she filed a lawsuit to get the ring back. Mm-hmm. And then common law marriage. And then there was 2 lawsuits. One was about the ring, one was about child support.
Okay, did you win the ring lawsuit?
No, hell no. Yeah.
So she just lost her shit when she found out about the ring.
Yeah. And then I used the ring money to pay for all the
lawyer fees?
Lawyer fees. So I was like, you can keep taking me. I said, you can keep taking me to court. That shit, I got about
I got 350,000 left.
I got about 3 more cases before I tap into my own money here.
Yo, you're a menace. Yo, Gil, you're a menace out here.
I mean, listen, like, this is always gonna be my thing to just women, period, with kids. Kids and the fathers, right? Your kids have the father's last name, right? Right? So if you're not protecting your kid's name, then you're not a good mother anyway. If that father makes money, then you need to protect your kid's image, which means you're protecting
The money
the money.
that you're going to pay for child support.
Yeah, so if this is the breadwinner,
Yeah.
don't cut your nose off to despite your face,
I feel you.
right?
I completely agree.
Every check
Yeah.
he makes, you get crumbles of that.
You get a piece of that.
The
Yeah.
more fucking bread he gets, the more crumbles you get. So
and
you will be getting.
and the kids will ultimately inherit that as well. So
You're protecting the bread to
Yeah.
protect the little bread. That's how it is. You
Yeah.
need to protect all. That's what a partner is. My partner, I want a partner who protects the brand. I feed a lot of people. So if we have children together and you decide that fuck it all you're saying is fuck it all to the kids too, because I'm the name that's going to be on the back of the jersey, or this person's name is going to be on the back of their jersey and this jersey. So if I have a bad reputation because of you, they get penalized from it.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. You talked about how when you meet women, you make them pay for dinners, and like you kind of lie to them about who you're seeing.
I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna be the person that they.
I don't go quite that.
What I'm saying is, I'm gonna be the person that they don't want, right?
To prove that they're actually
to see who they are. Like obviously, you're looking at me as a meal ticket, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm the meal ticket, I don't need to impress you. Right? A broke dude impresses you. Try to pretend he has whatever. Yeah. I'm rich for real. So what the fuck do I? Right? I fucking
for real.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear sandals. We go to a restaurant. I'm wearing sandals.
No, you're right.
The only person that's gonna tell me I can't wear sandals is usually the establishment, and for the most part, they fucking know me, so they're gonna let me in anyway.
Yeah, doesn't your man Ocho Cinco? He said that he always wears fake watches because it's the same effect.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
But what do I need to impress? Like, I'm gonna play by my rules. So when you say, so do you have girls? Yes, I have a lot of them. Right? I might have one. I'm gonna tell you a lot. Right? Just so you know that there's competition here. Right? There's like competition.
Yeah.
There's competition. There's a long line. So what's happening? Right? Are we going to talk? Like, I'm not going to sit here and do this pandering. Pandering gets you fucked up later. Because you pretend to be something that you're really not inside, and then they're judging you off of this expert 10 guy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, when you come back to being normal, let's say you're pretending to be a 10, but you're a 7. You're a guy that's a 7, right? Yeah. You go out only twice a week. You have a nice little budget. You're a cool guy. So you're rated a 7, but you're pretending to be a 10.
Yeah, you can't keep that up.
When you can't keep it up, you go down a 7. To her, you're a disgrace.
Yeah, you're a liar.
If you started off at a 7, fucker, you're amazing.
You talked about how really as a celebrity, you don't really trust new friends. You don't trust women. Yeah, I feel you, man.
I don't trust words. I trust ethics.
Yeah.
What's your work ethic? Are you ambitious? Are you late? Like, so I'm judging you. Like, I don't care about your past. Like, you can then fuck the whole world. How are you treating me? Like, how are you helping me build something? Right? Because technically, for most dudes that have money, women are useless to them. Right? What are you bringing to the table? I'm bringing the table. I'm bringing it. I already got one of those. I got one of those. I got a table. What are you going to bring the chairs? Are you going to bring the fucking napkins, the decorated? What are you going to bring besides the table? So for the most part, a successful dude, you're not bringing anything to him. You're taking away from him.
Right. Well, sometimes, but there's also women that most successful men usually have a stable woman in their corner, because there is something to be said about having someone, especially if they have your kids and they're involved in the business sometimes and that type of thing. You could get a lot farther in life and in your business by having a stable woman at your side, as opposed to constantly hopping from girl to girl to girl and all the drama that comes with that. I've always been more successful when I was in relationships as opposed to when I was dating,
But
because of the drama of the dating world.
no, that's true. No, so that's what I said. So when you say, what do you bring? Your answers is not the table. The answers is not me. That's you're no one. I'm already a millionaire. I make this much money without you. So what do you? Oh, I can help you with
your finances.
Finances. I'm good at this. I went to school for this. I can bring your schedule. I can cook, clean, be stable for you. I don't give you a headache when you did. Like, I can keep your cars clean. What? Tell me something.
I'm not going to put your business out publicly.
I can protect your brand. I can help your brand. I can build. Tell me something that keeps my fucking light on.
All the women right now need to pay attention to what we're saying.
But
it's not just the ass and titties.
I can
ass
buy
and titties.
That. They sell it.
They sell it.
They sell that.
Go to Amsterdam. They literally have broken it down to the least common denominator. There's a window with a woman there. You go in. They close the curtain. The bed is right there. You do your business. You leave.
That is it. They sell it.
It's a transaction.
They sell it on Instagram too.
They sell it. Yes, they do.
But that's what I said. Like,
all these girls go to Dubai. I
tell women, I said, like, if you want to deal with a successful man, you have to understand how to make him more successful. That's not with words. That's just doing.
Yeah.
Right? You know,
it's
like
actions.
Schedule. You watch him, watch how he moves, and do the things that he's not telling you to do. Right? Because he's lacking somewhere. He's successful in this. Yeah. You find out where he's lacking in, and you put the table's wobbly. You put the little thing under there to make it even. Like,
right, for example, I noticed this with me, and also I think this goes for a lot of men, especially men that make money. They're usually not good at the finances, the paying the bills, the filing the taxes. I remember before getting into a serious relationship, my taxes were a mess. I actually got audited. You know, and then, you know, the woman that I was seeing at the time, she took over that, and then it was like, it's been, you know, it was smooth sailing after that. But by myself, I'm too busy trying to hustle, and you know, next thing you know, you got an audit, and your shit is all over the place and whatever else. So yeah, I mean, finances is usually a good entry point for the right woman. But if her own finances are fucked up, you don't want her touching your money.
Yeah, but that's just it. Is like that's why when people say, yeah, I want my woman to be successful, like when women be like, yeah, you know, I'm educated, I'm this. What the fuck does that mean? You're educated. How does that work in a relationship? Are you going to just pretend that you're smarter than me the whole time and making me feel stupid?
Or
I don't want it.
Or if she has her own successful business and she's splitting the bills with you somehow.
Or not even splitting the bills, helping me get to the same level, helping me with my business or something like that. Like help. If you're going to, I don't need you to just come in here and just be another person. I don't want to treat you like a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, like a pet.
If I'm just sitting here with a whole nother fucking pet, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to feed you, dress you, this and that. And like, oh, when we going to the mall? Oh, I need a new Birkin. Oh, all right. Yeah, shit, that Birkin, I could have got fucking 20 vaginas for that price. So the way they sell it on Instagram, fucking $1,000 a pop.
Yo, cheaper than that. Cheaper than that.
I know, cheaper than that.
A nice dinner will do it. You know, just being in your presence.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, once you're a successful man, you have a certain type of fame, you will have fans.
Yep.
You will just have fans. In the same way that men, you know, for example, Jalen Green was obviously a fan of Draya. I'm sure he was liking her Instagram photos in high school. He was probably lusting after her. And now she's right in front of him. She's a little older. She's got a few more kids, but it's still, he's a fan.
Yep.
I don't need to use condoms. You know, I'm gonna hit it raw, and now she's pregnant.
Like people like,
but it's a fan. He's fanning out. right?
It can go both ways.
It go both ways.
Like I'm the most
Men can be fans of men are fans of women.
Yeah.
100%.
Like
100%.
Like people like how I talk. Right? I got 5 girlfriends, this and this and this. I have DMs of girls like, can you add me to the team? Can you add me to the team? Like some of your favorite models. Just the honesty of it. The honesty of me.
I'm cool with the other girls.
Like when people are like, you're not gonna find a good woman. I'm looking at your page. The girl on your wall right now is in my DM talking about popping it. What? Like, if I show you the DM, you'll be mad. You'll take her off your wall. What type of lady are you? The kind of lady I like. Because successful women are looking for the same thing. They don't have time to be sitting there trying to get in a mental relationship with some dude that's gonna they just want the.
I met a woman who gets her body done, who spends a lot of money on presenting herself a certain type of way. She's not going to want the bus driver.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Like these type of women didn't do all this work, invest all this money
for a regular dude
to fuck down.
Yep.
They're fucking up. They're fucking up.
Yep.
And they'll wait.
Yep.
They'll wait.
And I be telling them too, hey, sweetheart, I don't want to fuck down. I'm trying to fuck up.
Yeah.
You trying to look at me, I'm trying to look at them.
That's right. That's what it is. Gilbert Arenas, man. Always a pleasure. Tell them about your show again.
No Chill Gil on I Go Randomly. That's my personal. But my big show, Monday to Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time,
Congratulations, man. As someone who really knows media, knows YouTube, watching your channel and seeing these clips that are getting 400,000 or 500,000 views, congratulations, man. Because a lot of people in your position, ex-athletes, always just try to get the deal with this network or that network or whatever. I really applaud you saying, hey, I'm going to do it myself. Because when we first started, you didn't have any of this.
Yeah, you're right.
The fact that since the time that I've known you over the years, you've actually launched this on your own and you're actually successful at it, man, salute.
You got to come by the studio.
Because not everyone can pull that off.
You got to come by the studio.
Oh, yeah?
At the house,
well,
you got to see it.
I'll be on your show, man.
All right, yeah, you
got
to
to see the show.
Anytime.
All right,
Right
you let me know.
All right.
That's what it is. Peace.
Peace.